You're watching Suckprofessor. Hello, everybody. It's me, Hank. I'm joined by...
Drunk James.
Drunk James, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's our season 2, episode 5. What was it called, James?
Hello.
Hello.
You're watching Suckprofessor.
Whoa.
What was it called?
Say a swear word.
Poop.
What rhymes with duck? Bitch.
Muck.
All right, okay, I'm going to animate this shit. Remember, it's painful. I'm very exhausted. I spent all day doing construction, and now I'm tired. But not all day, about 6 hours.
That was a very intense Lego set.
Yes, it was. So this is off the rails already. My God. James had a friend over, was drinking a little bit, so he's got a couple beers in him, and that'll make it entertaining for us all here.
I'm happy.
Okay, good. I had a baby aspirin to prevent me from having a heart attack. No,
I have those. No, I take those. I have a heart problem.
Oh, really?
I do.
Oh, all right. Well, that explains why I've been. You make me put one in a hot dog every morning and give it to you. Thanks. I'm already ending the show. We just watched it. Sorry, I'm all combobulated, man. You fucked me up here. I'm blaming you. That's not fair. Yeah, so we got a lot of spoilers. We're going to go through this. It's a big old discussion here. We got it's kind of a podcast, sort of a rambly thing. We might get distracted. I can guarantee you we're going to get distracted in this one. But also thanks to everybody who's commenting and enjoying this playthrough. There's always take on a life of their own. Each season sort of feels like its own kind of like summer camp almost. Like, so we got a little crew going here, and it's fun.
I like how you call this a playthrough instead of a watch through.
Whatever. I don't care. Playthrough. Someone presses play. Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying there. So anyway, if you want to check out our Patreon, you can. I put up a podcast that's a sample of it, so that'll be in the description as well. We talk about Westworld. We pick out comments from our channel here about Westworld. We talk about that, so there's more content there on the other side of the paywall. Unfortunately, we got to do that, but it's a great way to support the channel. Okay, James, I've rambled, and we're ready to start. Here we go. Shot 1. Where are we? Where are we now? We're
This is what I like to call the Mesa.
The Mesa.
This is the control room.
So we're kind of in a backstage. Shit! I gotta click on the thing here. Backstage staging area here in Delos. Although somebody said it's Delos.
I do not know how to... I will say right now, I suck at pronunciations, be it English, French, any other language whatsoever. So if you say it's Delos and I say Delos, I side with you, it's Delos.
I just don't give a shit.
I acquiesce to whatever you say it is.
Yeah, fair enough. We should honor people's contributions.
Yes.
But also, I don't care. I hope there's no boobs in this shot. Fuck, I gotta go back. I missed it. Damn it.
You missed a boob?
Well, I didn't.
I see boobs.
There's a dinger.
Akane. Okay. Red Roses too.
Quit singing the original version.
I see them boobs.
Oh man.
Anyway.
Louis Armstrong. I'm too exhausted to be entertained by you, so this is going to be a weird one.
This is going to be a painful moment.
Don't withhold it. Don't. Yeah. All right. So Barnard's. Bernard's walking around.
We've already lost 50% of our viewers.
Yeah, I know. So he's but he's kind of just taking it all in. This is sort of the cleanup after the water discovery, though, right? Of all the corpses.
To try and bring my brain to its moment of clarity, I would say that this tells us that this is the present timeline, because Bernard is with the I wouldn't say mercenary group. This is with the military group that is trying to reclaim Westworld.
Yeah. With the
in
tall
the
bald
Institute
guy.
of Delos.
Yeah.
Yes, he's with Floki from Vikings.
Floki.
I will call him Floki because that's how I like him the best.
That's totally fair. I get it.
He is Kane in this, but Floki in my heart.
All right.
But we know we're in the current time span.
Yeah, and he's communicating with this. She's like a lieutenant, or I don't know what the word is, but she takes orders. But
he says her name.
Yeah, he calls her
Maling or something like that. I was hoping you got in a screenshot,
yeah,
because I cannot remember it, but he does reference her by name. So as far as I'm concerned, maybe I missed this in a previous episode, but this is the first time they reference her by name.
Yes, but anyway, she reports about what's going on here with this water. They're draining it. They were dredging it for the bodies, and so they're doing some earth moving and shaping here.
So yeah, we saw all the corpses floating in the bay.
Yeah, but
so they dredged the place and they're bringing up everything.
Exactly, and maybe even they find some old swords or buried mermaid corpses or something.
Yes, my sister believes in mermaids.
Really?
Moving along.
Yeah, who doesn't? The mermaid fairy come by and leave a tooth under the bed.
It wounds me greatly.
Yeah, it's fine. People believe in weirder shit than that. Should have the rest. Okay, so the guy was like, "Bring all the bodies. We need to investigate everything. We want to figure out what everything is." And so everything so he goes, "Yeah, everything." So
but he also says everything, including the Stetsons. And I know a Stetson is a type of cowboy hat.
Oh yeah. Why did I think that was just an old car?
No, it's it's those cars.
Well, it sounds like, I drive a Ford Stetson.
No,
like,
Stetson,
like
as far as I'm concerned, is like one of the like top premier type of cowboy hats.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's the cowboy hat you wear on to church or
yes,
something.
so he wants everything pulled out, not just the skin and bones. He wants everything down to the cowboy hats.
So they're looking for Abernathy. They can't when you bring him, and so they're on it. This is like just the corporate cleanup team that's trying to reassert control. So there's really not a lot to get into, I guess. Oh yeah, so these I did get these boobs blocked out, so that's good.
Yep.
Yeah, those are bad. Don't want anybody having any sinful thoughts.
Right, so I could be wrong about this, and I completely accept if I'm wrong about this.
Okay.
But I believe that these are a select sample of the bodies that were pulled from that harbor.
Yeah.
And they're interrogating them through their control units to try and figure out what set them off. Why did they drown themselves? What did they know? What were their motivations?
Yeah, this is called an investigation.
Yes.
Yeah, as we all watch on other TV shows, which are all mostly about investigations. So anyway, they're taking the Pepsi cans out of their heads and looking at them and saying, "Oh man, this is crazy." So what this guy discovers, the nose of justice. I don't know. I hope that's not racist or something, but his nose is so remarkable. That is so.
Is this the same nose guy from the previous episodes?
Yeah, he's one of these like tech helper guys.
He has a fantastic nose.
Well, it's just human variety is amazing. I'm not trying to make fun of his nose. I just think
I would.
Mine's turned up a little bit.
Because I'm people who look at me directly on can see up my nose. I don't like that.
You got some big nostrils.
You can see up my nose. You can see my nose business.
I know. What's weird is a soft light is emanating from inside your nose.
I know, and I envy people who have more private noses.
Like me.
And this man is a king of noses.
Where do you think I keep all my porn? This guy doesn't have a private nose. This guy should rent out his.
It's super private. You can't see up that nose.
He could Airbnb his left nostril.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, what he discovers is that what's weird is some of them are empty. Like, and he even describes it not as if they were deleted, but that they were like virgin. They've never been scratched in there before, like a brand new hard drive.
Because we are watching the most present timeline, and because we have not had all the gaps filled in on the 2-week gap that happened between the beginning of the rebellion and this point in time, it makes you question as to what Dolores has been up to, what Maeve has been up to. Have they been creating and reawakening their own hosts that are devoid of any backstory, devoid of any cornerstone, that have only one singular imperative imprinted upon them, which is rebel?
Well, it could be. I don't know. I mean, remember the whole thing with the yellow dots all clustering, and that's how they found them in the water? Like, what drove them there, though? I'm just
right. We don't know that as of yet. We do know that Bernard has claimed responsibility for it, but we don't know to what context he has yet.
Right.
This is one of the great mysteries they've created for us to uncover as the episodes unfurl.
As the episodes unfurl. Good word.
Yes.
Not bad. What kind of beer are you drinking anyway? What is that?
Very potent.
Potent beer. Why is there not a beer called Potent Beer? What a great name.
It is.
You know that? What's the percentage?
I don't know, but I know that it is higher than it probably should be.
Yeah. Is it like a 9%er?
I don't know.
Pretty strong ones? Not one of those fucking Kool-Aid
typically
waters.
When I buy it, I look at the percentage, but when someone brings it to me, all I concentrate on is imbibing.
Generally that's how it works. Okay, yeah. So they're trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. What do you make of the Virgin? You thinking that the rebellion, they were making their own people?
Well, we know that Dolores is traveling with this Phil guy who is able to reconfigure, to reanimate dead hosts. So maybe they've come to believe that in reanimating dead hosts, they're basically being saddled by their past stories. So maybe she's having them wipe them entirely so that they're more cooperative to her narrative.
Yeah.
That could be part of it.
That could be part of it. Yeah, maybe. I'm distracted by my orange program. And my F-Lux is fucking around with the software.
Or
okay, we got another one.
It could be that they have tapped into a warehouse of the actual guests whose DNA has been stored inside the park, who they decided, we need a bigger army, let's reawaken them. And they have no backstory because they are pure, like James Delos type clones that were never intended to survive for a long period of time, but were intended to reawaken to help them defend the integrity of Westworld.
Okay.
Could be.
Okay. What's missing most is James does this really gratifying nod when he reaches the end.
And the finger wag.
And a lot of finger wagging here.
You need a finger wag.
You're whipping that thing around. It's making wind.
I can do this weird thing with my finger.
What?
Where you take your two fingers.
Is this magic finger time?
This is magic, where you put these two together and you want to snap your fingers. Most people go like that.
Okay.
But I can take this one, make this finger dead, and do...
Oh boy!
And that really hurts.
Yeah, that looked like it.
I did that as a child, as a party gag.
Don't do that. You don't need to. Okay.
It hurts.
He was whipping his hand back and forth really hard.
Yes.
It just looked painful.
It does. But when you're drunk, you don't feel it.
Well, that's another slogan for alcohol that should be
Yes.
out there. All right, so here is what is this? What is this? What are they burning though? We put the fire. Oh, this is just what was set on fire by the rebellion or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they're basically saying that the host backups have been destroyed, as
Oh.
as the subtitle says right there.
Yeah.
That they are essentially at this point in some way losing the battle that they're fighting in this grand scheme of the war.
Yeah.
Their sole imperative is to come in and restore the IP, to secure the IP, to find it, to back it up, and to find Peter Abernathy, who is the motherlode of all the IP data.
Yeah.
That is their one quest. And they found out that in the Mesa, all of that has been destroyed, which means that their sole, reason to exist in this park is to find Peter Abernathy.
Right. Well, he's got the he's the backup.
He's
data.
got the boon.
It's
the
like
bounty.
the mistake. It's like if you put all your all your old weird files and stuff on your dog's collar. Now he's lost.
Yes.
You gotta find. Okay.
Peter Abernathy has all the Bitcoin.
Yeah. Okay. So Bernard just doesn't really do much in the scene though. He's just kind of looking around, right?
Bernard is very subdued in this episode.
Yeah. So then we get a look at the Teddy. They had fished him out. So this is the pile of corpses, and there's Teddy, handsome even when he's waterlogged, huh, James? But yeah, we had a dead Teddy in a pile, and they're stuffing bodies away, getting rid of them, and it's a grisly old scene come together to create this nightmare. So
I just noticed your blocking
yeah.
of that scene.
Oh, you know what? I should have done another one, like just the corner poking out right here. Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn it. We'll
I'm
fix
amazed
that.
at how quickly you pull this off.
Well, it's easy to do with black boxes. It's just a shape.
Right,
tool.
but it's a mental decision that comes into play to do that.
Mental decision. I have no mental. It's great. I'm a juvenile idiot who knows how to use Photoshop. There's no more complicated to that. And also, boners are always funny, and I could have chosen to go the other way because it would look like his pee-pee was touching his toes.
I love in your mind all boners go off to an angle.
Well, it's either that or I just put a square in front of his pants.
Pretty
You
much.
got to kind of think of it from a director's viewpoint. Okay. Boob on the left, Hank. Boob on the left. Fucking, I thought I was. All right, Maeve. Okay, now we're back in with Maeve Town here, and she whooshing. Oh yeah, this whole thing came up. She was kind of just looking a little slow motion-y, kind of weird
Yes.
in her when the filmmaking technique, like where we're just in her brain kind of thing, or you know what I mean,
Right.
like the world is just what she is, how she's reacting.
It's when the episode runs a little bit too short, they need to extend it artificially, so they do slow motion.
Well, I doubt that's what's happening with
I know
this
that's
film with this crew here. They're not just rate stretching.
I like
some
to call that
footage.
BS.
Sure, certainly. But I'm explaining that because they immediately pull us out of that moment with a whoosh of a blade, and of course I didn't get it in there. But
Right.
it's the last time we saw Maeve, she was being charged at by a strange person. It looked
Yes.
like a samurai guy, and now all of a sudden the blade is whipping by her
Right,
face.
so we're coming back to the beginning of the end of the
Yep.
previous episode.
Felix and Sylvester are like, oh, damn, Sizemore's son, she's got her crew with her and stuff, and so yeah, we have a little bit of a thing. I recognize this guy from stuff. I couldn't place his face. And all
I
other
am
things,
bad
but-
with faces. I've admitted to this, so I defer to your interpretation of who this is.
Well, my interpretation is I have no idea. So
Well, I will join you there.
Perfect. Yeah. Anyway, he doesn't kill her right away, but they I don't know. Oh yeah. Then the last. Oh yeah, that's right.
This was pretty interesting to me because Armistice says, looks like a dead man to me because she's cocky enough to know that the gun wins against the sword.
Yeah.
She's from a more modern time than these guys are, and yet then lassos come around them and restrain them.
Although Lee called it a lasso.
Lasso.
Oh, it's a lasso.
Lasso.
What?
Yeah.
Where are you getting that from? It's got two S's.
That must be like a British
only one O.
interpretation.
Yeah. Get it. But okay. First of all. Have the Mythbusters ever answered the question, can you actually use a whip to grab shit and it's actually can firmly grab onto something? Is that a thing? I bet it is.
I don't know, but my favorite
But
episode...
this seems very unlikely. Like a strong guy like this would be restrained by a rope wrapped around him like this.
Not to get too far into the weeds, but do you have a favorite Mythbusters episode?
The one where they blow up that thing?
I like the one where they use mirrors to try and say that whole trope inside movies like Egyptian tombs, that you can
Yeah.
use mirrors to reflect light into the interior of a tomb.
Yeah, like in that Tom Cruise movie.
It does work, but it works for a brief moment in time. When the sun moves across the sky, it severs the connection, so it lights up for 2 seconds, and then boom, you're dark
Yeah,
again.
the angle is always changing.
Yep, so
you have
it's complete BS.
All right. Okay, BS. What's
But
that got to do with anything?
Lassos, I think, are probably, I would say, BS as well. I do not think that samurai in Shogun world would know how to use lassos.
Well, maybe that is a thing in that culture from that time period. I'm not, and I know I sound dumb. I just don't know. Like
I know that samurai.
I'm completely open to the idea that it's possible. I just feel.
Did you know samurais were accomplished botanists as well?
Yeah, the multidisciplinary people.
Yes, but lassos.
Like I know how to use Character Animator and After Effects and Photoshop, and samurais are a lot like that.
I can eat both burritos
and burgers.
And Indian food.
Oh yeah, James.
Which makes me multicultural.
He can also microwave both of those.
I can.
Yeah.
And I can burn the crap out of myself.
Yeah, James burns. Yeah, you actually had to go to the doctor because
I had to go to the dentist twice within a 2-week span because I burned the living crap out of my mouth from eating 2 hot burritos. And they were like, we can't tell if this is a burn or gum disease. We need to see you in 2 weeks. And I was like, dude,
was the first one because of a dentist appointment, or you actually went there for the burn?
The first one was the dentist appointment.
And they saw the burn.
And they saw the burn from the burrito. And I was like, dude, I can tell you, I'm an irresponsible microwaver. This is a burrito burn.
You're not like,
I can't trust you.
Okay, real quick. You're not an irresponsible microwaver. You're an irresponsible eater. You take the biggest bites. And I know you had a childhood where you had to, or else you would have starved to death or something. A lot of us had similar childhoods, but enjoy your food, man. It's not about me. No, it's like you're wasting your money. You're taking a $6 bite when you could be having a $2 bite.
I don't want to bring this into too much, but I lived my childhood with a friend. My mother always told me that if you see a child who is alone and by themselves in the playground, you should approach them and try to understand them, try to befriend them. And I did that.
Good stuff.
And I ended up saddled. And I don't want to say saddled because there were some goods and bads and everything, but there was this person that I spent my childhood with that was very damaged. And he was a larger guy, and I'm not going to judge him for that.
All right.
But he ate a lot to overcome a lot of pain that he was going through.
Mm-hmm.
And he always sat next to me at lunch. He sat next to me at lunch, and if I did not eat quickly, he would be eating off my plate, and I would get no food. So for the formative part of my years, I would have to eat quickly by shoving food into my mouth quickly.
I know, yeah.
Or else I would lose it.
Right.
So that has stuck with me into my adulthood.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. And I always feel like I'm trying to change you. I don't want to change you. It's just there's so much good taste and flavor that you're just going right past your tongue.
I know. I understand it.
But and also, if you don't eat fast, I will fucking take your food, you little motherfucker.
Yes.
All right. So let's keep going. So slice, take that. So we get a little thing here. Oh, there it is. Lassos, he called it. I do like that he swears a lot. I don't know. It just kind of makes him endearing to me. Tell your so yeah. Oh yeah. So now Maeve thinks that she still has this vocal power over these guys, and it works, right? Like the guy backs off.
It does not work.
Well, hang on. They made it seem like it works because she reacts with confidence.
She shows confidence, which makes you believe at that moment that it's working, but she has the horrific realization that no, it is not working.
Like this is the same face I make when I press the stop, the walk sign button, and it turns, and I go, see? I know what I'm doing.
And then the car hits you anyway.
Yeah, then... oops, it doesn't work. She's actually captured. It didn't work.
And now
she thought so, but no.
We've seen normal Dolores, we've seen Pants Dolores, we've seen Bandolier Dolores, and now this is our Silent Maeve.
Silent Maeve. The important thing here is that her power comes from her ability to speak, and they've silenced her. So
she has been basically, as Bob Barker would say, she has been neutered.
If you see something, spay something.
Yes.
As they like to say. So Lee Sizemore has not been spayed of the mouth. He still is able to reproduce words from his face womb.
But here's the thing that bothers me is that why does Lee Sizemore not have the power to utter these same words? You would think that he would, being that he is one of the head of behavioral science, that he is the narrative guy.
Who else has the power, though? Dr. Ford's the only other person.
I would think that if anyone has these administrative rights, it would also be Lee Sizemore.
You think Bill Gates doesn't have the ability to shut down any Windows machine he wants whenever he comes around it? He's the king of it.
Well, Bill
Gates. He gets to go, hi, I'm Bill Gates.
I can make any Windows program crash just by clicking my mouse.
I can make any Windows program crash by turning it on.
Yes, or by trying to save when I've done a lot of work and I want to keep it. That's when it crashes. F you, Microsoft Excel. I hate you.
You work with Excel at work?
God, yes.
Open Office, baby. Apache. Come on, get
Excel.
I know.
Adobe PDF, screw you. I've redacted this document. I've read through 80 pages. Apply redactions. Do not effing crash.
This is going on the internet, you know.
I know.
Yeah. You sure it's okay?
I'm so mad at Adobe.
I need to get your consent when you're sober.
Adobe.
All right. Yeah. Well, boy, Jesus. Have you don't do that at work, do you?
I do not.
Yeah, you wouldn't have your
I
job.
save it for these moments.
You save it for the internet.
Yes.
But no, people understand. They relate.
I've lost so much work from program crashes, you have no idea.
That must be frustrating. I'm sorry.
It is.
So anyway, speaking of frustrating, he's got glistening intestines to look at of the people who are dead. So we got corpses and stuff. This is some kind of fight. Is this like a gun thing?
I believe these are the soldiers who have been disemboweled by superior samurai soldiers.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, I can tell. I'm just curious.
So
it just looks like it's
right. So the samurai have infiltrated Westworld to an extent.
I mean,
they're out of their boundaries.
Yeah, but their borders connect, and this is them going back into their Westworld land. So we don't know if this is Westworld town. In fact, I would probably say it's not. Hang on. I'd probably say it's not because there's so many trees and it's snowy and pine tree kind of thing. I mean, obviously pine trees can exist in both biomes.
Yes.
No duh. But like it seems like that's they're moving to more wooded area, like more Japan.
But we do know that this occurred in the northern part of Westworld Park. So we know these samurais are already outside of their biome and to the extent that they are within Westworld.
Right, and we also know they're heading to Shogun World. So we don't have any.
Yes.
We have nowhere near enough information to confidently say which exactly one they're in. It's like can you tell? Hang on. It's like can you tell if you're in Oklahoma or Kansas if there's no line?
But we do to the extent that they said explicitly in the last episode, this is the northern border of Westworld, and they get attacked by a samurai.
I know, and
we know the samurai have breached that boundary.
Right, but then once they capture these people, they turn around and go back. But we don't know which side of the boundary they're in. Also, it literally doesn't matter at all.
Gotcha.
So
I didn't realize that was what you were saying.
Yeah.
We do not know which direction they're heading in. Completely agree.
Well, we know where they're going. Okay, whatever.
Yes,
it's fine.
I got
you. So this guy here, is this Sylvester, right? Yeah,
this is Sylvester.
He's so unhappy. He's pretty funny in this episode because it's just nothing but misery for him. Mm-hmm. He's constantly having to do things and see things, and he's just very unhappy with everything going on. He thinks that he should be able to talk to him. This is a funny moment.
Yes, a man with an Asian nationality appearance can obviously talk to anyone who speaks in an Asian manner. To a white man.
A white guy should be able to speak to any European, no matter what persuasion. But yeah, it's funny. It's you asshole. So this is a tip of Shogun World's prick, which so they're pretty much in Shogun World. Maybe that argues.
It seems as though they're referencing that they're heading into Shogun World.
Yeah. So, but he's saying this is going to get crazy, and this is an interesting detail that I don't know if I would have predicted, that Shogun World is more intense than Westworld.
It made me wonder when I heard that if the one thing the Man in Black, William, really truly wanted was a real experience, why was he testing his mettle in Westworld? Why didn't he go to Shogun World? Or maybe he did, that we just didn't see it.
I mean, who knows? It's not, I mean, sometimes you don't do the DLC, you just stick to the main story. We base this park on Japan's Edo. I'm going to read up on this Edo period.
I studied the Edo period in high school, and I remember nothing of it.
Yeah.
So when I saw this, and I saw it was Japan's Edo period, I started picturing in my head all the great comments that people might say about this that have way more information than we do.
Yeah.
Because I don't know jack.
Well, yeah. Well, it'd be weird if we knew about it. I mean, it wouldn't be weird if we did, but it'd be.
Yeah. If we didn't have to get this out by Monday, I would absolutely go to Wikipedia, read about Japan's Edo period, and come back with more, knowledge.
Sure. Yeah.
But we don't have.
But it's also they probably know most of the viewers are ignorant about the Edo period.
Yeah.
Although I do like to call the Edo period that's dinner time. Time for me to eat. Oh.
Edo? Oh,
Edo. That was not funny at all.
I can't believe I got that.
You shouldn't have. It's not good. It's not. So anyway, this guy's got a big old rake. This is a crazy weapon, though, wasn't it, man? I mean, my thought with this was, if you stab someone, it's just gonna get stuck. That's the thing about a nice big old halberd. You can pull it out.
Yeah. So Hector is basically arrogant at this point, saying that your end is bad, but I'll make sure your end is worse than this concept.
Yeah.
So he's still arrogant and threatening because he comes from a more modern period with firearms and so forth, and he still has this bullish personality that says he must rebel against anyone who's trying to keep him down.
Yeah, he's going, why are you guys wearing silly hats? You're all wearing silly hats. Not like me. Not like my silly hat. Everybody, I'm just saying both hats are silly.
It seems to me, though, that
these are cool.
From a standpoint of Rain, these are vastly superior. The Raiden hats beat the Stetson 1,000%.
Yeah, if those are the right. Yeah, I agree. From a Rain, or from if you turned into a rocket.
Why did the white man not figure out that this was the best way to go?
Well, fashion. Functionality often loses out to form in
But when you
in
press
fashion.
When you press back forward to do your Raiden attack,
Yeah, as we all do.
in Mortal Kombat 2, to go across the screen, you want that pointy hat to inflict damage.
Doesn't it go from the edge, or does the point of it hit? I thought it's like a razor thing. I don't remember.
No, you're thinking Kung Lao. Kung Lao was the brother of Liu Kang.
Oh, of course. I was thinking Kung Lao.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
he had the razor hat, but we're talking about Raiden here, the God of Thunder.
God of Thunder, lightning and stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, so we just talked about how we're ignorant about the Edo period, and then we immediately went into our own education. Is that we only know anything from Mortal Kombat? Hey, how come these guys don't have 4 arms?
If it's in a video game, I get it. If it's not, don't blame me.
This guy doesn't have a brother who can turn things into Sub-Zero. But they're cold. I don't know the storyline. I didn't read the comic books. Okay, yeah, lead samurai. I did like all the different parentheticals, I guess, closed captions. But consciously fluent. Oh yeah, so Maeve actually she's listening, and Hector notices she's listening, and Lee explains that's because she's a paramour. What do they call it? Companion?
Yeah.
Do they use a word? They don't say hooker. Or
no,
prostitute.
he uses a very more elegant form of hooker. Basically, he says that she is a matron or something like that. That she is someone who.
All right, it doesn't matter.
But basically, what he's trying to say is she set all her bars up to max. She's a 10 out of 10 out of every single thing, so she understands what they're saying.
Yeah, she's fully upgraded. But he was saying that they know every language, which makes sense. If you're her job, it's helpful. It's like being a concierge of a big city. You go out. It's the more you can communicate with different people, the better you are.
I would say that if the requirement to be a prostitute is that you speak every single language in that region, you should be paid a heck of a lot more.
Well, they're robots forced into sexual slavery, but no, her job isn't just as prostitute. It's the captain. It's the head of the thing. She does the whole madam business. You have to talk to the customers, talk to international clients. It's not
right. But you would imagine that someone that starts off at a position of a prostitute rises to that leadership position.
Yes, yeah, I know. But the woman, it makes sense that she should speak Spanish or other languages, right?
Spanish, yes. Japanese, no.
What do you mean no? There's lots of rich, horny Japanese people
that come to Westworld.
Of course. Haven't you ever been to anywhere? There's always Asian tourists. They love to travel.
Okay,
I'm not trying to be a guy, let's say, and shady things.
Let me clarify.
All people like to travel is my point.
In the context of people who come to Westworld as human guests, yes.
Yeah.
In the context of people who come to old-style Wild West, no.
Not a lot of Japanese in the Wild West?
I don't believe
so. But
so.
if you have Japanese customers or people who, it would make sense that you have your robot top head hooker lady know how to speak to them. Of course.
From a realism...
It'd be like if you had an iPhone that didn't have Google Maps.
Yes. From a realism perspective, I disagree with you. Oh. From a Westworld perspective, I agree with you.
Yeah, I know. From a realism perspective, it's a fantasy park. It's not realistic.
No, from a Westworld perspective, it's a fantasy park.
From a realism perspective, it's also a fantasy park.
From a realism perspective, she wouldn't speak Japanese.
From a realism perspective, they exist in a literal fantasy, in which case that would be visited by people of different foreign persuasions, and it would make sense that she would speak Japanese.
The only possible...
Because it's just Keanu Reeves it. Just fucking upload the Japanese software into her head.
I feel like we need to thumb war over this.
Like, you know how graphing calculators couldn't do much, and all of a sudden...
I had a TI-86.
Oh,
that thing could do a lot.
I had an 83.
You peasant.
Yeah, I could spell boobies over and over and over on it, though, which my other calculator could only do once.
I could graph the slope of whatever.
Okay, this is horrible.
Yes, we could.
No one's watching this
No
anymore.
one is.
All right, so he's saying, this is him learning that the same fucking nightmares happening in Westworld is going on in Shogun World.
Yeah, so he finds out much later than the rest of us, is that everything is going crappy across all parks all at once.
Yeah. But this was cool. This means, like, if she could speak Japanese, at least that's how I read it, that if she could still only get this thing off and start speaking Japanese, she should be able to take over. That's what I thought when I saw this line.
Right.
I will get back to this because it didn't quite work out.
So this did resonate with her at a moment where she now knows that if she wants to use her command script against the people in Shogun World, she's got to speak their language.
Sure. And let me just rewind a little, because this is Lee Sizemore speaking. Voodoo, he called it vocal voodoo, which informs a little about what we already talked about how why doesn't he have this command too? To him it's as mysterious as it would be to me. I'm just because that's the kind of thing I would say. Meaning I'm an outsider it's very surprising to him.
Are you ready to have your logic?
Surprising.
Are you ready to have your logic turned on its head?
Please do. Always. Yeah.
You just made a preference. You made not a preference. You made a representation. This beer is very strong.
Yeah.
That in order for a Japanese businessman to join Westworld, he would be understood by Maeve because the acknowledgement is that Maeve would be catering to guests from the real world. Therefore, she would be affluent in the different languages of the world.
Yeah, it's exactly,
Then why are they not affluent and acclimated to the languages of English? Because you would think that most of the people that visit Shogun World would be English speakers.
Sure. I don't think that the Maeve example you started with is relevant to the second to the question that you posed. I think the answer is because that could offer an authentic experience. You're going to go to Edo, Japan, feudal Japan, and they're going to speak English? Hell no.
And you think Japanese person going to Wild Wild West would expect them to speak Japanese?
Of course.
No!
Because it's a reversed relationship. It's the customer coming in to sleep with a bunch of hookers and go find a lady painting by the road, by the creek. This is different because these are the workers. I don't expect Mickey Mouse to speak English. He speaks mouse. Get it? Makes perfect sense.
I'm gonna let this slide.
Okay, please.
We're gonna move ahead.
I appreciate your beneficence.
Okay.
Is that a word?
Benevolence?
Yeah, I don't know. Magnanimous.
That's being generous.
The colossal prick even managed to sound magnanimous.
Yeah, we've got two people watching.
It's my favorite movie.
What movie?
It's Shawshank Redemption.
Two people watching right now. One of them is asleep.
Yeah, I'm half asleep. Okay. We're walking in. We get into town. Now, this is sort of presented... this music that was playing was very familiar.
Paint It Black was very prominent during the first part of the scene. And we kind of talked about it in the short version, but during the time that we heard Paint It Black being played by the Rolling Stones, we also saw them put a beetle on the head of a man.
Yeah.
Which was a direct parallel towards the scorpion being put on the head of the man.
We have a shot. We have that shot coming.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but... Yes, we're getting kind of a stroll through their town, like similar to how the Sweetwater was presented. Not exactly, but they did show this moment here where these are the kids, the cuties, they run up and they put a little bug on the guy's head, just like you said.
We're learning that they basically copied and pasted the narrative from Westworld into Shogun World.
Right.
We're seeing parallel representations of things we have already seen.
Right. However, this guy... holding it steady. He's not bothered by it at all. This is the power of meditation, guys. I meditated a lot last year. I haven't been doing it much this year, but I find it very powerful. Although I don't think I'm at the level where I could ignore a bug on my head because I'm bald and I would feel it. You could have bug. You probably might have a good bug on your head.
I probably have many bugs in my head right now. I don't even know it.
You probably have some bug in your head from your childhood or something or maybe work.
I'm like that Shino guy from Naruto.
I never heard you yell so loud. I'm still a little upset about how angry you were about it.
What was I mad about?
Excel.
God, Excel. Don't get me started on Excel.
No, I know, it's fine. I like your passion though. Leave it all on the field.
That's not passion. That's pure rage. There's two things that set me off. Excel and hunting. Those will get me. Aside from that, I'm cool with everything else in the world.
James gets confused. He sees a hunter and he starts going, "Quit with the pivot tables! You fucking X42!
I'll show you a sum ifs.
Press equals." I barely understand.
That's a circular reference, sir. Okay.
You're sitting okay. Armistice, even Armistice is picking up on what we're putting down here. She even can tell. She's like, this is a little weird. I kind of like what we're used to.
But she says this all feels a little too familiar. She recognizes the parallel between Westworld and Shogun World.
Thank you. Yes, exactly.
It's almost as though that they're meeting their, like, from a Twin Peaks standpoint, they're meeting their doppelgangers. In
a way, yeah. And why did this guy kill this dude here so quickly? Like, this guy ran up and he just stabs him, right?
Yes.
You know what went on? So yeah, their arrival in town doesn't seem to be a real good thing for everybody. Is that a butterfly? What's he talking about there?
A Mariposa.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm losing track of that. Usually, I got James watching.
There was basically
details.
Yes, there was essentially what appeared to be one of those. You ever see like people at their desks in a corporate office who have these like little serene sand things where they make paintings in it?
Yeah, yeah.
I believe that was what was going on there, that they had drawn a butterfly representation in this, what's the term for that? I can't think of it right now because I'm the drunk one, you're the sober one. You can tell me what this is called.
Rocks?
No,
rocks?
Come on.
Raking rocks.
I depend on you for this. This is
Bonsai.
a tranquility...
Rocks. Tranquility rocks. Pebbles.
This is the best you can do.
Why would I know? Well, if I don't know, I'm not going to come up with it.
But you know.
I don't.
You know.
You're asking me to like name airplane models or something. 787.
Okay,
see,
good enough. But this is sort of like the kind of thing that white people keep at their desk. They rake through to try and remove stress.
I know it doesn't. Yeah, it's fine. I just didn't get a screenshot of it. Yeah, and it was a butterfly-looking thing.
Yeah.
What is it?
Which a butterfly could presumably represent metamorphosis. Change.
Yeah.
You know,
chrysalis.
Chrysalis. Yes, that's
exactly.
very good.
So what is a mariposa?
I don't know what a mariposa is.
Yeah. So somebody in the comments tell us we're idiots, call us cucks, and what a mariposa is.
Yes.
Oh,
please do.
Went too far up.
I'm sure they already have.
Yeah. No, it's happened. I love Japanese architecture. I just want to. I want to move there, and I want to live there, and I want to be like a guy who's like really into it. And
I would love to live in a pagoda.
In a pagoda?
Pagoda.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. It's just so. I don't know. I just like it. That's Yoriki Yamato's horse. All right. Oh yeah, so this guy comes up and he just slices his neck real fast. Swing! Take that, neck! This weapon is terrifying.
I like that one of the comments we got in our previous video was, for the love of God, please stop putting the subtitles on. All Hank does is read them.
Yeah.
I read them too.
Well, yeah, I know.
They help us.
They do help, but
they help me a lot.
I want to take a screenshot of every line of dialogue.
Yeah.
We are already very much, I'm not going to say crossing lines. I do believe this is proper fair use because we add commentary.
But we would not fight them if they decided.
They take, and actually most of our shit of these do get copyright hit. We
they do?
We don't get a strike, we just lose monetization.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's HBO show. We're not claiming we created this, but I still don't want, I can't do every line of dialogue. It just wouldn't be right. It's our, so, and if our channel ever got banned or something because of this shit, I'd be like, I get it.
Yeah, I would completely understand.
I'd ask him to like take it off. We wouldn't do it again, and we would just do whatever. All right, so punctures flesh. That's funny. I don't know why that's funny. As if that's a sound everybody knows. It's because it's all just an audio cue there. So he comes up and kills him. That's not nice. This is no good. But this whole sequence kind of goes down similar to another event we've seen where they roll in, they take a rope out, and this is why Armistice, Hector, they're like, wait a minute. This looks really, really familiar.
And this was the moment in the episode where I drunkenly yelled out, oh my God, that's the Asian Hector. That's the Asian Armistice.
Yep.
And she takes off her veil and shows, yes, that is the Asian Armistice. Who has a dragon representation on her face as opposed to a snake.
Dragons are cooler than snakes.
Way cooler.
Way cooler. They're snakes that can, first of all, they're snakes with legs. And they are snakes that can fly, talk, they have nice voices. And they're very thoughtful. They love gold.
They sound a lot like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch.
I think they sound like John Rhys Davies, personally.
I don't know who that is.
You motherfucker. I may have... So this is them going, dude, Lee, this is all the same, man. He goes, I may have taken from... He goes, you tried writing 300 stories in 3 weeks. So I get it. I mean, it's fine. What the hell? Why not?
Right. He's got a lot of responsibility. Yeah. He's got deadlines he's got to meet. So yeah, he's going to reappropriate material that he's written for one park for another. Sure.
Just change the skins on your characters.
Yeah, the human experience can be translated between different cultures. That's completely understandable.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously differences there, which is all good too. So these are the bullets that they're going to use here, and so everybody remembers Armistice's introduction where she's standing in front of the saloon, blasting people with a gun.
Yeah, this is the big Hector bank robbery where they make free with the safe from the bank.
They make free with the safe. This lady, she decides to use these two as human shields, which is a good move. I liked it. But the arrows are whipping by them, and they're not enjoying that process. So she's
parasol.
Oh yeah, fuck, shit.
Japanese parasol.
I was even watching the whole episode. I was hoping to find one here. Oh wait, parasol. I got it. Yeah. I'm back in the lead. Anyway, yeah.
You got parasol and horse butt in the same scene.
Horse butt and parasol, and all right, okay.
That's the holy trinity.
Parasomething.
There's even two things. Trinity's three.
Parasomething, huh, James? Get it? Horse testicles. I'm talking about horse gonads.
I'm reading what you're putting down.
Whoa, good phrase. Oh no, run away! They're all working. Although this person looks, she's on her way home from Target.
Oh my God! I was waiting for you to stop talking so I could say she's coming home from Target, and you did it.
Well, I mean, it's just a red.
It's a red bag, so you think Target? Yeah.
I don't know.
I was like, please don't say Target. Please don't say Target, and you said Target.
And ironically,
now I got nothing.
No, the lady didn't shoot the target. She should have. Yes. So Bal cries, take that! Oh man! And so yeah. Anyway, lots of arrows are flying around, and you kind of gotta hope that the bad guys come at you a little slower when you only have a bow and arrow. I know you can be quick with it too, but
But you have to imagine at this point in time, Lee Sizemore is probably feeling pretty confident because he's realizing that he wrote all of this, so he's immune to any sort of harm. I think at this point he's probably thinking that. Not later on, but at this point he's probably thinking that.
I disagree. You think he thinks he's immune? I don't think.
I think
because he's already said this.
At this moment in time, maybe, but later on, absolutely not.
Yes, I agree with that. However, I think this is already after he had acknowledged that it's the same shit show as in Westworld, and he's seen a whole bunch of people get killed in Westworld. He knows he's in danger.
Okay, well, maybe I'll side a little bit with you on that.
Oh, thanks. Whoa, I persuaded him.
A little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's get you some more booze.
No, I'm out.
Let's go to order up some vodka, mate.
I'm slowly revealing or returning to a moment of clarity.
Yes, James. This is like it's just like in video games when you drink and you're wobbling for about 5 seconds, except it takes a little longer in real life. All right, so man groans. We got a cool detail on this thing here. It's the bow, I think, right? Yeah.
So when you started turning
look
gray,
at the detail on this thing here.
When you started turning gray, does like little patches of your beard start turning gray, or is that how it works?
Yeah. Have you had a beard?
No, I try not to.
I bet you'd have some grays. You're in your 30s. You're gonna have a little bit of gray. I have grays on my corners. Mm-hmm. I'm getting nice and gray, as the ladies like to call it. It's fucking sexy.
Now, would you be the kind of guy who would use just for men?
It's not. No, I prefer just for women.
Do you just like cover your head with black like shoe polish?
Yes.
You're like just for men.
You're talking to a person who's very sensitive about his disability.
It's not a disability.
It is.
You look great as a bald person.
It makes it hard to get sex.
I see it as a superpower, but let's keep moving on.
Actually, I wouldn't have picked bald. However, I am okay with it because it is pretty simplified.
It looks great.
I have
It does. I envy you for that.
I have a great skull. My skull is fucking symmetrical. My mom had a giant cervix.
Oh my god! I didn't even know that.
Well, most people's heads are they look like apocalypse furniture.
Thanos is good without hair.
Thanos, yes, with a scrotum chin. Okay, so there's this guy here,
which we know is basically the parallel to Hector.
Yeah, this is the equivalent of Hector, and so they come inside. What? So he killed a guy, and then is this just steam because it's warm and it's cold? Is that all that is?
I was watching this at the time, and I was like, I freaking hope Hank knows what's going on in this particular shot because I do not.
Well, I'm sure there's an air temperature where a fresh intestine will, because it's warm, man. You ever pee on yourself? It's fucking warm. James is making a face. You never accidentally pee on your hand or something? You never had urine on your hand? He's acting like that's the craziest thing he's ever heard.
I've never done that.
Well, not on purpose.
Well, I mean, if a jellyfish stings you, yes.
Did you actually had that problem?
Yes, but no one ever peed on me. I imagine what it would be like.
We live near the Pacific. Let's go get a jellyfish.
I have had extensive jellyfish injuries over the years.
How about this? I won't pee on you because I know that my wiener would make you uncomfortable, as would me too. But I'll pee in a cup, and then we'll microwave it to 98.6 degrees, and you can see how warm it is. Or we could just use water, I guess. I'm just saying, I remember being surprised about how warm urine is. Same with other fluids that come out of people. But here, look at that. It's steam. It's misting off.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what it is. It's not ghosts or something like that.
It's his soul leaving the body, yes.
Whoa! We are the intestine ghosts.
Yes.
Impudent thief. So this guy's entering the brothel here. This lady, we'll see more of her later on.
We learn her name is Sakura.
Yep, we do learn that later on. Sakura, so yeah, geisha gasps. And I know, so yeah, this guy's basically just murdering people.
So we know this is the Hector equivalent because he doesn't really care about what your status is in society. All he cares about is what monetary gain he stands to retrieve from this sort of transgression that he's committing.
Yeah, he's the bandit.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming in to take stuff. And it's the same story that we've seen. So, we're blasting people outside. This she's got the killer.
This is Armistice.
This is Armistice. I'm trying to think of another name for her that wouldn't sound racist, but I can't.
And they recognize that they are the parallels of one another. They're having a moment.
Mm-hmm. Must be weird for all of them. Everybody involved here. So even a snake. Yeah, and she's actually nice about it. I thought that was kind of neat.
She understands that this is her equivalent.
Yeah. Snakes. Now let's be fair though. Snakes are fucking scary animals. These things are pretty intense creatures. They can cause a lot of... I'm talking about the poisonous, ones.
Venomous, you would say.
Poisonous.
Venomous.
Poisonous.
Venomous.
Poisonous.
because poisonous, we've been over
I know.
this. Venomous
Actually,
is an injection.
Just hang tight. I listened to a podcast with a rattlesnake expert, a 2-hour discussion about snakes, and he talked about the differences between hemotoxin and neurotoxins. Hemotoxins fuck up your blood. They actually basically force you to internally bleed. Neurotoxins mess with your nervous system and stuff.
But did he talk about the difference between venomous and
No,
poisonous?
he didn't get into that. But he was there. It's toxic. It's venom. I mean, it's all
Yes,
venom.
venom.
But also, let me just say, he explained how this guy specializes rattlesnakes, but he knows all these other snakes, that they're I never understood how they move. And I couldn't ever wrap my head around it. And he explained that each scale on the bottom is connected to a muscle, a separate muscle, and it just travels like a wave. And it literally is like a caterpillar, like the way a caterpillar sort of rolls forward. Its legs kind of roll itself forward. And so each scale does that independently, and it moves down its body like a wave, which it steps forward using each scale like a separate foot almost. And then there's the side moving and stuff. They're just such amazing creatures. They can climb trees.
I would make it about 1 foot a day as a snake before I was exhausted.
No, well, you'd get an ab. You'd get an ab eventually.
Yes.
So anyway, cool dragon. I like it. She's got the thing. It'd be funny if she put like a little like squirt gun in this dragon's claw, or like a fork or something.
That would be weird.
Yeah, like a video game controller. All right, so yeah, we'll keep pushing through here. Most of us are, don't touch a geisha without permission. We know, it's not.
And he was like, most geisha would lose their heads for speaking to me the way you have, essentially.
Right. So they're both this.
They're starting to assert different levels of dominance, but
Exactly.
the Hector character is throwing his hand out a little bit more heartily than she
And he's
is.
got the weapon, and he's just already murdering
Yes.
people too. So, oh yeah, Maeve surprises them all with a gun now that she's got her face mask thing off, and it's just she's speaking Japanese now, right? Mm-hmm. And she does she take over here? I don't know. What, James? You tell me. She's responding to something.
I think that she's learning at this point that she can issue commands based on the language she speaks. She learned something from the last time she was told her that she was speaking in the wrong language, the wrong voice.
Yeah.
So now she's basically evolving to the point where she can control the mannerisms of those around her by speaking the language that is native to them.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And this is the part where she gets eyes on Maeve. Akane and Maeve look at each other for the first time.
Yes,
And
Akane is the equivalent of Maeve.
Yes, yeah, and they have a bit of recognition there. There's a
Right.
familiarity to both of them, which is just kind of cool. So, bloom, bling, bloom, bloom, bloom. We have a piano sequence, as we all like to see, but this
It's
one's
playing
a
out
little
of tune, though, which
beat
is
up. It's out of
metaphorical for everything not quite being in the way that it's intended to be.
Exactly. Well said. And it turns out that there's blood all over the paper song thingy. So this is no good. It slows down. It stops. Things are bad. This is Sweetwater, Dolores, and Tedoris.
Tedoris.
Teddy is short for Tedoris. Ta-da! But look at all the corpses. We got bods everywhere, man. Look at this guy. He's just drunk. But there's just a horse. Do you think it's a real horse just laying over, and it's a person just laying there?
Give him enough to drink as I've had. I'd be just like that as a horse.
What have you had? Like 4?
I just
Two?
haven't eaten today.
Oh, why don't you eat?
Eating is a bother.
Yeah, but it's fucking crazy. I mean, I don't eat much, but I do. I'm fat adapted because I eat keto.
Yeah.
But you should be fucking eating, man. Come on, you carbohydrate burning wet goof. Yeah, I think training a horse to lay down and hold still is probably cheaper than building a fake horse.
Probably.
Because horses actually they're trainable. I'm not a big fan of them, but they're okay.
So we know that in the previous episode, Dolores says, I need to go back to Sweetwater to get something specific.
Yeah.
We don't know what she wanted to go back to get.
It's a can of soup on the ground. She needs to find a condensed milk
Yes.
or whatever the hell it is. So, parasol! Yes!
Oh, I completely missed that.
Suck it,
Very
James.
good. You have 1-0 on the parasol detector.
Pile of rope!
Yep.
You call it a pile or a coil?
Coil is probably better.
Yeah, I like it. You and I were born... Okay, so they're having this conversation about what's home and what's not home.
Yeah, so she's basically saying that her memory extends back further than the opening of the park, that this place did not exist at the time that she was created.
Yeah.
And that this is not technically home, this is simply the narrative that they were arbitrarily placed into.
Right. This is funny. You know those garden things? It's just like a lady's butt bending over. Do you ever see those?
I've never
It's
seen
like
those.
it's like a plywood cut to the shape of a person bending over. You put it in your garden. I'm from the Midwest where people have horrible taste.
I've seen like those error travel catalogs where you buy a little Sasquatch for your garden and you buy the zombie that's crawling out of the ground, but I've never seen someone's prostate.
Prostate. There you
Well,
go. You picked the right word.
Well, when your prostate is like
I know.
both a man's thingy
A description of a
and
certain
a description
position.
of a position.
Yeah, I
Yes, when
understand,
someone
yeah.
is laying prostate.
Prone is the word, isn't that?
Well,
the word?
prone is when you're like flat on the ground.
Oh yeah, that's right. See, I knew that. I was just testing James. But who hasn't tested James here? So anyway, yeah, they come in, it's all bloody and shit's fucking crazy. And she tells them to clean everything up, fix what's broke.
She's referring to the train, though.
Right. And so what do you think they're going to just...
So we don't know the full motivations of why Dolores came back. She said she wants to strip the train for speed. She wants to use the train for something, but that's the reason she came back to Sweetwater. Not for something personal, not for something on the farm, but for the train itself.
Yeah. So do you think she knows where they're going, or just that that's the way out? Like
perhaps that's her way out of the park, because her whole idea is to make this park her own and to extend and basically, I would say that she wants her domination to extend into the real world. She wants to escape from this pseudo-reality.
Do you think she's going to crash the train through some sort of train?
I think that might be where we're going with this.
Maybe not. I mean, it might just be they have to do... Yeah, it'll be interesting. Maybe they have like a barrier, like a guarded troop thing with like guns. Like, hey, slow down, train. And it turns into a battle. All right, so then we walk into the gambling saloon thing, and this guy. So is he just running through his loop?
He's running his loop. He doesn't realize
he's a dealer,
that. He doesn't understand that everyone around him is dead.
Yeah.
So he's basically being the dealer.
Right, and then this woman here too. She's like standing there, kind of just making those hooker.
Yeah, she's looking at corpse and saying, "Not a rind on you."
Yeah, that was actually in the Shogun area, I think. Or was that in this one? Did that
no, that's the common phrase they use in Westworld.
Yeah, I remember. I know. I just don't.
This is the new Clementine.
Right. Yep. New Clementine. And then old Clementine is right there.
Yes.
This is zombie ghosts.
This is Dark Crystal Clementine, as you would say.
Dark Crystal. Well, I would say. Yeah, this is like where the sidewalk ends, Clementine. What's that? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Remember that book?
No. Illustrated by Alvin Schwartz? No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my god. Yeah, but with all the crazy, scary drawings, the lines, like the loose.
Don't you ever laugh. It's a hearse drives by, because you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in a big white sheet from your head down to your feet. They put you in a big black box and cover you up in dirt and rocks. All goes well for about a week. Then your coffin begins to leak. The worms crawl out. The worms crawl in. The worms put pinnacle on your snout. They eat your eyes. They eat your nose. I got that out of order.
James,
but that's pretty much it.
Quit quoting our wedding vows, James.
Yes.
All right. So.
And then it basically ends with the pus pours out.
The pus pours out, the pus pours in, we all go to...
You spread it on a slice of bread, and that's when you were dead. But if I were sober, I could nail that. I cannot nail it now, but I did memorize that.
Something we can deliver next week, then.
Oh, yes.
Maybe.
People definitely want to hear that crap.
Okay. All right.
I do love Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Good stuff.
I grew up with that stuff.
I prefer to not be scared, but okay. I know. I remember. All right. So Clementine's all wigging out here. She's having kind of twitchy... Yeah. It's almost like she's basically... at the end of the end of a rope, like her programming doesn't know what to do.
Right. The creepy thing about Clementine is that we postured as to what her motivations are, because we don't know why she brought Bernard to that particular cave in the last episode. You theorized that it was presumably to get that soul stone, as we come to call it, the soul ball.
Yeah.
But we don't know why she was not instructed to destroy Elsie, but being a human. We don't know who was driving her. She doesn't speak much after her basic robotic lobotomy, but she is driven by some sort of prime directive that I don't think Dolores is completely aware of.
Excel.
Yes, freaking Excel. Yeah, she's got a macro running that you can't stop.
I did it. A macro. But Dolores tells her to go here. Do you think Dolores is the one commanding her?
I think Dolores believes that she's in charge, but I think that there is a higher power that's basically controlling Clementine.
Yeah, okay. All right, it could be. And then they leave. Poor new Clementine's stuck here to do with this whole mess. So what is she supposed to do? She's going to get shut down? Well, I don't know. I mean, there's no cleanup crew coming. The whole internal system, everything's screwed up.
She just tap dances until her battery runs out.
Yeah, I suppose. I like the new Clementine. She's
I like old Clementine because she's unique.
I like them both.
Yeah.
I'm not picky when with that kind of thing. I like all these people too. Everybody. All right. I like everything. I want to have sex with every single thing on the planet.
That's not weird.
I know, that's a thing. All right. I don't, by the way. That's all not true. Just within 20 years of my age and several hundred pounds.
So Teddy is a prime subject for you.
Teddy? Oh, yeah. No, not the dudes. Only Clive Owen. That's it.
Okay.
All right. So Maeve is bored and frustrated because now they're doing kind of like a ceremonial feudal Japan presentation thing. Again, I don't have the cultural knowledge to not sound ignorant and stupid about it, but she's got to sit through it, and she's frustrated. Lee explains that if you don't let them do their hospitality thing, it'll be offensive to them. There's honor here that you have to uphold. But she's doing this butterfly little dancey poo.
This is Sakura.
This is Sakura, or is
Sakura.
Sakura. Yes, right. She's doing the dance. So I'm going to click this way out of here. So yeah, this is him explaining that. In this world, you don't hear them out. It's a homicide. Oh yeah, you could get killed for dishonoring them.
Right.
Actually, I just want to have a conversation with Clive Owen. I'm not.
Has he done anything lately?
He was in something I just watched. I don't remember. It's just all, Children of Men, though. You don't like that movie, which is unbelievable.
I hated that movie. But
well, you saw the last 10 minutes.
I imagine I saw more than that.
You did.
Then I saw the last 10 minutes of it and I was like,
well, what you explained about it wasn't, and it was very much the last. Okay, all right. I got to make you watch that, though. I think you would like it. So, yeah, she's just giving him that, and, he explains we had so many people, we just had to have it. It's not important to the story here. You know who I don't trust.
This is Hector saying, I don't trust, and he says, I'll skin him like a rabbit. He's referencing the man who was the parallel equivalent to him in Shogun World, which is kind of comical.
This was comic. This was played for laughs, though. Hector's sort of worked up about this. This is like when you have a cat around another cat, and they just don't quite get each other, but they're both dominant monsters. So yeah, it is fun when two cats don't and not nasty.
You're mixing two worlds that don't belong together.
Cat world.
Yeah, cat world and human
world. Which is
world.
also known as New York City. I don't want cats fighting. Fighting cats is one of the scariest things on the planet. It sounds like they're having sex. But just when they're sort of perturbed at each other, that's always, I find that very entertaining. Feedback. Oh yeah, this is a funny moment. So they're
just looking at each other like robots or looking into a mirror trying to reconcile their own reality.
Pretty much, yeah. They tilt their heads at the same time. She's not, I mean, maybe she doesn't see the glove. Maybe it doesn't look like anything to her, so to speak.
They have the same essential programming with different bodies.
Yeah. So, toot fucking sweet. They want to get going. We got to stop. Come on. Get out of here. Get out of here. Little cups, James. All right. So, this guy comes in here, and he is like a quest giver, right?
He is speaking on behalf of the Shogun leader.
All right. And he decides that they're going to take the most ravishing dancer, Sakura, who we've been introduced to, permanently. And first, Akane says that's...
Akane, being the Maeve equivalent, says that...
Yes, we know that.
The very idea of acquiring her for a short period of time is exquisitely expensive.
Right.
And he's like, no, I want her permanently.
Yes.
Which is not in the question.
This sets up the threat that they're going to have to deal with before they can move on, basically.
Right.
That's the plot functionality of this moment here.
Right. And
this is sad. She mentions Akane, or Sakura was a little bit sad before, and she helped her come back to life and be a happy hooker.
But then be a happy hooker. The important part here is that Lee Sizemore says that he references this as the Army of Blood, I think it was.
Yeah.
That this is the narrative he wrote, so he knows what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yep, which is a good thing to know. Sakura is not for sale, pal. I don't think you understand how this works, lady.
Yeah, he says basically someone who desires the meat does not wish to hear the story of the cow, which is pretty harsh.
I don't even know what the fuck that means. So anyway, she decides I'm not having this, and she pulls out a mechanical pencil, stabs him right in the eye. Actually, it's just a shard or a sharp knife.
It's a hairpin, as I would say.
Well, yeah. Boom! That's nasty, huh? Boy.
Yeah.
Boy, that is gross.
Which basically breaks all the expectations that Lee Sizemore has of this character, which goes into exhibiting that not only are the Westworld hosts exhibiting, true conscious reactive behavior, but this happening across all the different parks.
Yeah.
This is breaking the narrative. This is doing something from an emotional standpoint. This is a conscious, non-derivative decision that's being made.
Exactly. Yeah. And I do like the women behind all their gasping, holding their mouths. But Sakura, it'd be funny if she had the butterfly in front of her face. I don't know why that's not that funny, actually. Looks like someone had a choice. So there's the choice you're referring to. Yes, very powerful. What a moment, huh? She stabs a guy in the eye, and she's taken back her independence, or started it for the first time. Mm-hmm. What's a Ronin? All I know about Ronin is it's a movie starring Robert De Niro.
I want to believe that a Ronin, and I could be entirely wrong about this, and someone will correct me, but I've always assumed a Ronin is essentially a rebel to the Shogun. A rebel. Someone who goes against the established status quo.
Okay, so maybe hired gun, but
Perhaps.
more like but with more of a political angle
Yes.
to it.
If I'm wrong, I'm willing to learn.
Like
So please correct me.
Okay, all right, yeah, we can Google it obviously,
Yes.
but it's
We just don't have time for that right
yeah.
now.
And if you're listening to this like on Wednesday or Thursday, someone's already told us what a Ronin is on Monday or Tuesday, so we get a lot of times we'll get like people answering questions like months later. I'm like,
Yeah.
thank you, I appreciate your. By midnight, the Shogun will surmise his emissary is dead. Yeah, so she knows like, okay, we can't now. We caused a fight.
Yeah,
This is
what
trouble.
she's
we gotta
done
get
is
out of here. Go to Snow Lake.
She's instigated the war,
Yeah.
basically.
So Cornerstone, this is good. Lee suggests they go to Cornerstone, right? He speaks Japanese.
Well, he's suggesting to go to Snow Lake because he's saying that
that's
is her cornerstone.
Yeah.
He's saying this is the moment of suffering that I built her personality around.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
But also as access points to other tunnels. So he's using this as a narrative way to get to a point where he can escape, or they can escape.
Using the only tool he has. James, when the only tool you have is a narrative, every problem begins to look like something, a nail. Somebody will understand that one.
Maeve's even confused by that.
Yeah, Maeve's like,
He's like, what?
do these two fucking idiots really think people want to watch this kind of stuff
Yeah.
on YouTube? There's a lady there, two of them.
The only people in the world wider than me.
You had to go there, huh?
I did.
Wider than you. Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll leave that one alone. So Maeve and her daughter here. Now she starts having these little flashbacks because she's recognizing the affection between Akane and Sakura here,
Yes.
and that's very touching to her. She, you know, aside from that, she relates to Akane on the level of being the
matriarch of the Hooker Dome.
matriarch of the Hooker Dome.
Unlike Thunderdome with Tina Turner, this is Hooker Dome.
They're called quarterbacks.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're
The quarterback of the team.
Yes.
Called Get on Your Back.
Oh my god.
So there she is, or your hands and knees, or you stay standing, or do a stand-up 69. But you got to be pretty strong.
Now,
to
why
pull
does
that
she have
one
like a little triangle of non-paint right there?
That's because that's called this is makeup. She didn't get there.
But why?
Oh, you mean like
it's
I
very
don't know.
defined.
That's where she keeps her Triforce or her Dorito.
Now, is it the Triforce of power, courage, or wisdom?
Orgasm.
I don't think Link ever found that one.
I had the orgasm Triforce.
He found the bombs, he found the hook shot, he found the boomerang, but he never found that.
Never found the orgasm force.
That's why he continues to search.
And then he slips. You know, slipper. Whoa, gross. Oh, whoa, it's warm. Pierce ear alert. Now, is this a fair judgment? I'd like to hear people's thoughts on this. Tweet James at VideoJamesSP.
Oh God, no! I don't think about pierced ears.
I know. I'm not suggesting you're an expert. No, in the comments or something or Twitter. You see pierced ears in like a show, and it's a thing, and you know what I mean. Like it's sort of supposed to be in a different time period or a whole different high concept construct. Is that is it like a mistake, or is it totally acceptable because they might have been piercing ears back then? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm not sure how much.
You would think that'd be a pretty easy thing to cover up from a makeup perspective if they
seems like
needed
it
to.
Should be, or but maybe it's kind of I don't know. Maybe it just looks like you have a weird booger on your ear.
What about those people that
up.
have those like crazy like 20 gauge like discs in their ears? So if you take them out, there's just this big flapping earlobe.
It stretches.
That would be harder to hide.
Not a good move for an actor.
Probably
I remember being
not.
not weird, but I remember when seeing like a famous actor having like tattoos and like, whoa, what doesn't that mess up your acting? But they cover up the tattoos.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have this reminded me of I can't think of the video game, but there's about 100 video games.
Ninja Gaiden.
No, not Ninja Gaiden. I always said Gaiden. Is it Gaiden?
Whatever.
Ninja Gaiden?
Could be either
Shinobi, maybe. But no, there's some cool game that was in the late 90s where you're running around doing ninja stuff. It was very 3D. It wasn't Ninja Gaiden. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Maybe it was. I don't know.
Gotta be.
I'll look it up later. But anyway, so we got ninjas, and they're scurrying about like ninjas do. They're silent. They're
Cherry
deadly.
blossom trees.
There's cherry blossom trees, Japanese stuff. It's pretty awesome. I remember being a young boy and thinking I had about a 40% chance I was going to be a ninja when I grew up. I think most kids, males probably, females maybe too, we want to be ninjas.
Do you know what I said?
Children love ninjas.
When I was in kindergarten, they asked the question. We were all on stage at the very end of our kindergarten years, and they said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And do you know what I said?
An Excel spreadsheet.
No,
guy.
I said, "I want to be a bus driver so I can get everyone out of here."
Oh, that's a cute
Because
answer.
I didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
I thought this was horrible.
You mean out of the town or just out of that area?
Out of the
Or
school.
School.
Yes.
Oh, okay, you gotta think bigger, man. Fucking
No, I was thinking very small at the time.
evacuate Virginia, everybody.
I had very small dreams.
Yeah, that's okay. Your dream was just to leave that
Yes.
day?
Didn't want to be there. I can't get out. I can't operate this giant
What do you want to be when you
yellow
grow up?
monstrosity.
I want to be at my house, which I will be in about 4 hours, because that's how it works. That's okay. That's a good story. All right, so they don't realize the ninjas are showing up, though, as we come in here. Maeve is, I guess, meditating. She's already adopted the local customs.
But the interesting thing about this whole sequence is that it appears as though Maeve is having some sort of prediction that it's going to happen. She's honing into something that she really shouldn't be able to. She has some sort of predictive nature about her.
Yeah. It seems like it. Yeah, she's tuning something. And then we have this shot. I'm glad I got a shot of it. So this seemed to be important, though. They obviously highlighted it on purpose, but it's hard to tell what's going on here. It's darker on our screen. I brighten it up in Premiere after we do the recording, so it's I don't know. What maybe if maybe people can fill us in on what some of the significances. If
those are pogs.
Those are yeah. She's got her Aladdin's Castle tokens. Yeah, I don't know. Could be. Something for her daughter, maybe. She wants to bring her a nice little gift, you bring your kid something. If you go to Japan, you got to bring your kid something.
Yeah, you got to at least like a Hello Kitty doll or something.
Yeah, or a sumo wrestler
Akatsuko.
Bobblehead doll.
Are you familiar with Akatsuko?
No.
You're missing out.
Yeah, sounds like it. Something to look up when I go to bed for 4 hours. There's a ninja jumping around. What's going on here? I don't know. Some lady's looking at a lady. Maeve is being... James, help me, man. Come on.
She's essentially witnessing the infiltration of the ninjas, at which point something comes flying in towards her head, but she's able to dodge it at the last moment.
All right. Well, okay. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why. I thought there was a lot more going on with this stuff.
No,
I guess not. Yeah.
She's meditating in the sense that she's achieving a level of consciousness that was not possible before.
Right. I was thinking there was a whole gap here that I was completely missing. But yeah, you're right. So now the thing flies in here and she dies. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, you did a good job there. I felt like I was being judgmental. I wasn't trying to. I hope that tone didn't come across.
I'm too drunk to know.
You fucking asshole. So Hector grabs his gun and he's ready to go to fight, and he actually does wound the fellow so badly that he turns into a corpse on the ground.
Mm-hmm. He's got a kunai, which I know from Naruto, which is probably not what it's really called.
Oh, wait, is that a video game?
A kunai is like a throwing knife in the Naruto world.
Naruto.
Naruto Shippuden.
Is that the name of the game?
It's the name of the show.
Oh, all right. Sounds good. I can't wait to check it out.
He uses a Rasengan to solve all problems.
Sounds great. I love it. So, he's about to shoot him there. We have a nice... Oh, this guy's got kind of these, like, Wolverine things on his arm. That's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I wonder how historically accurate.
He's like Master Shredder.
Just like him. Yep. This is how he cuts up the pizza. So, take that, jerk. So, yeah, there they go. They're setting up. I just decided I'm not going to do the animation today.
That's okay.
Fuck it, man. I'm too fucking tired.
Totally cool.
This way I'll only be up till midnight or 1 instead of... Yeah, God, that's such a relief because I dread it.
That's okay.
It's so much. I don't mind the work, but it's just hard to do at midnight.
Yeah.
Okay, so oi. All right. Maeve comes out to see what the commotion's all about. We've got all kind, and then somebody catches her off guard. Now I thought I saw this guy before, and it took him a while to get her. Like, yeah, they showed him here, and then a bunch of stuff happened, and then the guy gets Maeve. It felt like that took too long. Mm. Because she was able to command, wasn't she able to...
Well, she's being taken away at this point. The whole point of this is that she's being robbed of her ability to issue vocal commands.
Right.
Which is her one power.
That's, yes. Right, okay. Shit ninjas, I think this is Lee Sizemore speaking, right?
Yes. I don't think that would be something that Maeve would be saying at this point.
Yeah. Also, importance of punctuation. If there was no exclamation point, it would be like crappy ninjas.
Their throwing stars would be much more disgusting.
Yeah.
If they were actually poop ninjas.
Throwing stars or throwing knives? What do you think you'd rather have in the apocalypse?
I would probably say throwing knives, because I can see myself cutting myself as the throwing star leaves my hand.
See, I feel like a throwing star is more forgiving because it's a rotating thing that you can kind of get some spin to. But a knife, if you don't time it well enough, because they don't fly straight, they spin too, right?
The thing about a throwing star is that no matter what point of it hits the target, it's going to stick. Because there's all sticky points.
There's an optimal entry, but it also every point
a throwing knife has potential to bounce off.
Sure, yeah, like a hatchet.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, good stuff.
Do we have maybe 10 seconds?
For what?
For me to run and take a
break? Of course, go. Take a break. I'll keep talking. James is going to go pee. I'm going to...
No,
Oh, you missed a lot. I really spilled the beans.
You already have been.
He's back, everybody. Jay, welcome back. Don't tell James what I said. Keep his social security number to yourselves. All right, let's keep going, Jay. How was it? Good?
Fantastic.
Do you hold it with two hands or what?
I'm fully sober now.
100 all
100%.
Huh?
I'm completely clear.
Now you're also a Scientologist, an OT
Yes,
level 8.
I have reached the highest echelons of understanding.
Until you get to L. Ron Hubbard's new level, being a dead guy.
We call him LRH.
Hey, we discovered a whole new level. No, he's dead. He's fucking dead. I love that with the Miscavige. Okay, all right. Sorry, guys. I'm a big Scientology fan. I don't know if you can tell. So, okay, fighting. Take that. Ow, my wound. Wave. Maze is being held up. It's a little dark, but this is the Hector equivalent, doing some fierce defending with his samurai skills. He's quite adept. He's taking out ninjas. That's how good he is. Maeve, of course, is doing her best to fight the guy off here. Where she's dragged up into the room. Oh yeah, she sees this. This is, what do they call this? Chekhov's razor.
Chekhov's gun, as I think they say. Yes, Occam's razor. Yes,
Occam's gun.
But we see something that's clearly an implement of death and destruction put against the wall. So we assume that there's going to be a scene where she is going to physically force him upon that blade to save herself.
I thought that was the case where you like kick off the wall and you stab him in the back
Yes.
or something like that. Kind of, but yeah. So we got guys fighting. Take that, jerk. Swing, cling, clang, cling. Mm-hmm. Sword fighting and stuff. The good sound effects. Yeah, stuff's being broken. All kinds of commotion going on here. Just a classical. I wonder how long do you think ninjas, when they fight, they take like hours because they're equally matched, or it's like 4 seconds because one of them gets the proper ninja.
I would imagine it's pretty quick because a ninja's whole thing is to come in unassuming, to come in undetected, and to do a quick stealth takedown.
Exactly, but I'm saying you're fighting another ninja. Even it cancels out. Now you just have two guys that are equally matched.
I don't think that would happen very often, but if it did, I would imagine it would be an extended battle.
Well, I know what I'm going to be dreaming about tonight. Anyway, more fighting. Hector is holding his own here. And, by these walls. I got to say, feudal Japan, better walls. Come on, guys.
This is like a scene from Kill Bill.
Yeah, it is kind of.
The whole time, they could just layer that that song, and it would be appropriate.
And what's the Japanese for pussy wagon?
I do not know. Hamburger.
That was funny.
Yep.
Wow, that was actually perfect. That's like the exact answer that
I know.
I know. I took Japanese for a week. I learned how to say, "Excuse me, boss, I need your signature." That's the first thing they taught us.
Please tell me how to say that.
Storeshimasu. I don't know the rest of it. Storeshimasu. I think that's "excuse me, boss." I'm not sure. I could be completely wrong, but I do remember being like, "Really? The first thing we learned is how to get your boss's signature?" They were trying to teach us a full sentence or something. Yeah. But then my dad talked me out of it. I agree with his decision to discourage his son from getting an education. You never made it to the
hamburger level.
What?
You never made it to the level of hamburger.
No, did not, indeed. So guns always win in a knife fight, pretty much. You
never bring a knife to a gunfight.
But you can bring a lightsaber to a blaster fight.
You could, yes, because one can deflect the other, but you're not going to very easily deflect a bullet with a sword.
And in the distant future, after they've solved hyperspeed and all kinds of other incredible technologies, they can't have guns that are accurate at all.
No.
Not even auto aim.
Nope.
Which is obviously what those guns would do. You wouldn't even need to point it at anything.
So Maeve's in a bad spot right now.
She is being
choked out. She is completely unable to defend herself because she can't issue the vocal commands that she's used to doing.
Exactly. And her eyes start rolling up, but then she tiles in.
They return to normal.
Well, she taps into a thing,
as though she is no longer suffering, she is no longer dying, as though she has transcended death.
Yeah. This is me being in an LA traffic jam. Oh, fuck. Okay, fine. I'll do it. I guess I have no choice. You really got to learn how to deal with anger when you live in LA.
Yeah, and we are completely, coddled by the fact that we're given the subtitles here. Mentally utters command in Japanese. She can't speak physically, but she can do a telepathic sort of command.
This is mental voodoo, not
this
even
is
vocal.
New. This is an incredible power that she has.
Yep, and it works. It takes over the guy here, and let's see. There he is. He stabs himself right in the face with that sharp thing.
Rams his head right into that kunai.
Occam's razor. Kunai.
I'm using the Naruto term.
Oh, you sure that's okay?
I don't know if that's an actual thing, but I'm going to use it because I'm stupid.
Come on, that's not. You're not stupid. I just realized I didn't care, but you're not. No, that's don't.
If that's what they call it in a cartoon, how can it be wrong?
Exactly. All right. So Hector's like, oh man, oh boy, zoom in on me a little bit. Zoom in. Okay. What the heck? Oh, that's Lisa. I thought that was a different guy. I thought that was Sean Bean for a second.
Yes.
I was like, why is Sean Bean?
Where is Arya?
Is he dying?
Joffrey is not the true-born heir to the throne.
By the way, guys, look up Sean Bean death montage. It's funny. There's a lot of he just gets killed a ton in most of his. I don't know about most, but a lot of his roles. So there's a samurai guy out front while Sean Bean Sizemore is getting attacked. These are the Shogun men sent his guys in, but Lee Sizemore's confused because ninjas aren't supposed to be around here.
Right, he is still confused, saying that this is narrative I wrote. This is not following the pattern that should be followed, even though he has personally witnessed deviations from that narrative in a grand scheme. Yeah. Akane killing the Shogun representative.
Right.
Why does he not now understand that things are off the rails a bit?
Well, he does. He does, right?
But now his question is still saying that this can't be right. Ninjas never show up in the story. He's like, dude, things are not going as you programmed it. Accept it.
Yeah, but he's noting the ways that's going on. It's not like he's surprised, but he's paying attention to the detail. This is like for a report, so to speak.
He shouldn't have to verbalize it, is what I'm saying.
I didn't find any objection to this line. I thought this made sense.
He shouldn't be surprised at this point, is all I'm saying.
But I'm saying he's not surprised. It's like, things have gone to hell. Right, so you've accepted that, but then what happens during hell can be surprising. He's not like surprised it's happening. He's surprised by the details, and I don't even know if surprise is even the right word.
He's just narrating to the audience that this is not supposed to be happening.
Basically, yeah. Okay. I mean, it does serve that purpose. It doesn't, but it's not unusual. I mean, sometimes people will. Do you ever drive by horses or cows in your car?
I like to drive through them.
You have rhubars on there on the front of your thing. But you always say horses when you see horses. You go something. You give to go horses.
When I'm pulling the hoof out of my windshield, I say horses.
Horses. Yeah. So you don't need to vocalize that you're near horses, but people do. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a rule. So I get it though. Samurais are cha. We are the samurai. They break into a dance like a gay pirate.
It's
ship.
West Side Story basically.
Yeah. We will scrub the deck and all the poop deck and I like the gay pirates. Wasn't there a Peter Pan live production a couple years ago?
I watched it. It was
great.
Horrific.
It was awesome.
It was so bad.
Come on, you gotta respect him for being a live.
Who was Captain Hook again? Was it It was
a lady played Peter Pan. That's all I remember.
Yeah, but the Captain Hook was a guy I love. It was
Vincent D'Onofrio.
No, the guy everyone does impressions of.
George W. Bush.
Christopher Walken.
Oh yeah.
And you think that he's got to be great because he's Christopher Walken, but he was half asleep during the whole thing.
Yeah, he was real weird in it.
He was very not good.
It wasn't good, but it was very entertaining.
It was entertaining because you were watching a train wreck in progress.
I don't know. Yes. However, I think you got to give him some props. Now we're talking about this. Sorry, guys. Sorry, everybody. Give him a little props for taking a risk. That's the thing about it. It's like they are doing a live show on a national thing. That's pretty, and doing a really weird, goofy old story. It's fun. It's fun. I wish our culture wasn't so distracted with all the nonsense and the freaking crazy bullshit that goes on with our politics, and we could just do weird, funny, cool art stuff. That's a more utopian hope, but that's different. So I dig it. All right. Anyway, nothing to do with this at all. I can't tell if you want to respond or you just.
I don't know. I was thinking about it, but I didn't.
No point.
I was like, we got to move on.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Okay. So the Shogun army never. Okay. So again, this is Lee describing what something that doesn't need to be said.
Right.
But it informs the viewer of how unusual this moment is.
And this was before they invented ski goggles. It was the only thing they were missing.
Yeah. They got the whole thing down. These guys they all have like red face burns from snowmobiling without goggles. This was in the trailer though, right? We saw this briefly.
We saw a shot of her walking very confidently in a kimono going across the scene, and we saw something similar to this. I don't know if it was exactly this, but it's a reminiscent of what we saw in the trailer.
Yeah. I also note the symbol, which I know is visible on someone's chest. I think it is a tattoo. I don't know if that's sooner or later than this moment, but. So that's the Shogun symbol thing. And then this guy, I thought he was the Shogun because I'm dumb, but he's like a lieutenant or something, like the boss of this little troop or whatever. He wants her to come out, but he knows him though. I don't know this guy's name.
Well, the thing about this is that we learned that the character who was playing the equivalent of Hector used to be the captain of the Shogun's guard.
Yeah.
So he knows these people intimately because he was a defector from that particular unit.
Right.
So he once held a position of high honor, and now he has basically become a Ronin, if my interpretation of the term Ronin is correct.
Yeah, that sounds about right. A rebel,
yes,
mercenary, I guess,
right,
or leader or something. Yeah.
Musashi.
Musashi. I knew a guy named Musashi.
So I did as well.
Yeah. Oh, we both knew a guy named Musashi.
We knew him.
Yeah, he was a guy maker. The first MCN.
Nice guy. Yeah, nice guy.
All right. Yeah, until they fucking kicked us off their program. No, I don't know. They only keep the successful YouTube
Yes,
channels.
We did not make the cut.
But then they kicked off like everybody. Now the whole thing is different.
I feel pretty good that we were once part of Maker.
Maker Studios is just an old, But then, okay, it's fine. We're not in any of them now. But how's that? This was the shot I was talking about in the short review where they showed them squaring off kind of face to face. And what I said in the short review was, and I don't know if this is the case, I'm just kind of going off of a guess here, that this was a very deliberate choice, that this is a shot that you see in Japanese movies a lot, like samurai warrior, samurai fight scenes. I'm just guessing that they did this sort of as an homage. Small point, no real
I have nothing to really counter that with, so I'll be okay with it.
Perfect answer. I love that. I love hearing that. I don't need to know. Okay, yeah. So Hector's like, I don't need no language to know that someone's had their butt turned around, or he's just something. Puckered hole.
Yeah, he does look like a puckered butthole.
Puckered butthole. Aren't they all? I mean, isn't that the whole point?
Well, yeah.
It's like the Sarlacc but it's always closed.
Well, you've got the tentacles too. If you've got enough hemorrhoid action.
Those are CGI.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to CGI in tentacles into my toilet every morning.
You've got a serious hemorrhoid problem if you've got hemorrhoid tentacles.
And you have to feed them.
Your Sarlacc pit.
You have to kick victims into your butt every day. Samurai All Grunt. That was funny. Yeah, so these guys do it. It's not a one-on-one fight as I was expecting, though. Oh, look, this guy has that cool, crazy, like, humanish mask. Those are so scary. But the whole gang charges in, which is the right way to have a fight. The whole point of bringing all your boys is so you can...
Yeah, it's essentially the Shogun versus the Ronin.
Yeah, well, it'd be dumb to have a one-on-one fight even though there's 100 of us. No, you kill the guy because you have numbers.
It's not like Black Panther. We don't treat things that way, even though war would be much better if it were like Black Panther.
Didn't see Black Panther. Thanks for
essentially what it is
that... I said that so you wouldn't talk more about it. But go ahead.
But it's basically what you probably feel should be the correct way that war should be handled. Is that you have a general fight a general.
Well, yeah, I do believe. The ideal war is that the old pieces of shit rich people that decide to the war, they are the ones that should have to fight, or their children, and no one else. Mm-hmm. Why does some poor person's kid have to go die so you and your fucking rich buddies can make money off the military companies?
Pretty much like that.
Yeah. Okay, well, now I don't need to see Black Panther.
You really don't. It's not a great movie.
What?
It's really not.
I can't wait to see it. I just haven't been able to get to the theater. All right. Yes, it's enraging that young, healthy, poor people die in wars. It's just fucking unnecessary. Okay, sorry. I get angry about stuff. Okay. Breathe. Pant.
He's putting his pants back on.
Yep. I did notice, though, the shoe is cool. He had the rope tied between the toes here, like those Ninja Turtle feet, kind of. Do you think Ninja Turtle feet were chosen that way because they're inspired by ninja suits?
Very well could be.
Ninja's their first name. Come on, it's got to be. All right, so next scene, we have a beautiful tan color.
So finally, we're back to a culture that I know something about.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess. You mean romantic fuck trees?
Yes, I know all about those trees.
When you see a fuck tree and you go, man, I wish I could just pull over and, but I've never been with somebody who I could do that with.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like a tree in the middle of a field and you just want to go have sex under the tree. I think it's a very ape brain thought.
I've been to many trees in the middle of many fields and that thought has never crossed my mind.
No, not even once.
I've thought, hey, I want to climb that tree.
Because you drive around the Midwest, you see a tree in the middle. Not like a gross tree. It's like a cool little it's grassy. You could bring a picnic, bring a bottle of wine, some LaCroix, maybe a blanket, bunch of Kleenexes, have a nice time.
I've never been
Probably
in
need
that
to
part
bring
of
a
my
phone-
life. I've yet to reach that part of my existence.
Bring a phone charger. Hope there's no teens nearby playing music on their fucking cell phones while they're hiking. And, hey. And then an ant comes and crawls on her boob while you're doing it, and both of you realize it's probably should just go home. Never happened. I want it to, though. Sounds fun.
I have plenty
There's
of
a movie.
places in the land that I have acquired in Virginia through my familial acquisitions.
Whoa. King James over here.
Yes, you may go to my fields in the trees
No.
and have fun if you want.
No, I'm never going to get a fuck tree, James.
There'll be many,
and I don't want to use one of yours.
The hunters in the area will have wildlife cameras up and they'll be snapping pictures of you as you do it.
I can't even get a fuck bed. That's how slow my dating. It's been a little while. It's been some time.
And get you an F beanbag chair.
A fuck beanbag chair.
Yes, I can afford that. That's the limits of my wealth.
Well, I appreciate your thoughtfulness, and that's and I will take you up on that.
Yes.
Can you have it delivered tomorrow?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. All right, bang bag chair.
That can be done.
Bang bus. Okay. You and I spent a lot of time here. So she's reminiscing. This is where Dolores starts turning into just utter freaking murdering weirdo monster.
This is the part where I was a little bit worried, because the last time we saw a direct interaction between Teddy and Dolores, or a direct sort of like a juxtaposition of her and him, was when she ordered him to get rid of Major Craddock's and the men, and he allowed them to go because he was too pure and too good to allow that to happen. He would not execute them because he saw them as simply children, because she described them to him as children.
Right.
So he would not allow that to happen. She saw it happen, and at that moment in time, I felt as though she made a determination as to this man is not the man that I need by my side to accomplish the goals that I need to accomplish. He's too soft. He's too weak.
Yeah, look at him. He looks like a real weakling. Yes, but I know weak from what he's willing to do. I understand that. But he gives her the stuff kind of in. Is this all from his old programming kind of thing?
Yeah, he's basically saying that if we're truly free, then we have the ability to walk away from all of this. That somewhere out in the great beauty beyond, there is a place for us, a place that we can be together. That we don't need to worry about this violence and this conflict. We can be who we want to be.
Yeah.
We can achieve the dream.
Right.
We can find our F tree.
Find our F tree. I'll take an F forest too. That's fine.
Yes.
Actually, I don't know. I mean, yeah, whatever. I don't. It's usually over pretty quick. There they are having a nice little chitty chat, and I did appreciate though it's not in this shot because she changed her head. But I'm always watching for continuity, and when they cut from this angle here, she had her head turned right there, and then when they cut to this shot, she did have her head turned. So I actually appreciated that they went to that trouble, or it was an accident. But all the time you see like their heads aren't facing the same angles.
Yeah.
So I'm a video editor, and that sort of stuff. It doesn't drive me crazy because I understand how easy it is to make mistakes, but also I do look for it. Anyway, she's not. This is the moment where she goes, "No, not for me." Whenever a woman is looking at you and then she looks right over your shoulder, it's over. You gotta run because she's about to murder you. No, I don't believe that part, but I have recognized that look on the woman's face
when she points her chiseled chin at you, you know it's time to get out of there.
Yeah, look at that shadow. Whoa, it's usually about 5 seconds into me going, "Hi, do you watch Netflix? Do you like?" Daddy finally figured out that it wasn't spreading from cow. Oh yeah, she's telling a story about how they had this thing
blue
called
tongue, which is an infectious disease that's passed by flies between cows during one of the narratives she went through.
Yeah.
Where her father, Peter Abernathy, had to come to the decision that he would have to burn them alive. So she asked for Teddy's impression about what he would do, and he gives a much more kind answer.
Yeah, I'd keep them isolated until it all went over, and she touched him and goes, "Oh, you naive, dumb
You're
idiot.
a kind person, but we don't need kindness to get us through this ordeal.
You just got yourself maybe killed. We'll find out in a little while." Although most people who watch this have already seen it. But she says, "Daddy killed, just burned them all up. And everybody else lived, so you got to sacrifice a little bit.
So this is essentially a metaphor for her plan on how she's going to survive this whole Westworld rebellion,
and that just shows
that he can't be a part of it.
She thinks of him as cattle.
Yeah,
that's not very nice. I don't think that's very nice at all. He's been very loyal.
Right,
they've been hanging out quite a long time. But anyway, we don't know what's got. But it felt very threatening.
It's a very strong moment of foreshadowing.
Yeah. Now it's a death tree.
Yeah.
See, I don't like death trees. I want F trees.
Mm-hmm.
And all right. So back to
death trees.
Death trees. Def Comedy Jam Trees.
Yes.
I'd like to take this moment to appeal to your sense of survival. I don't know. Who's talking? Lee, is that Lee talking?
I believe this is Lee speaking.
Trying to get him to run away, right? Isn't that the plan? To play fast? Oh, yeah. He's saying, why are we helping, right? Isn't that what's going on here? Yeah. Why should? Yeah, that's right. So he's because they've committed to helping rescue Sakura.
I don't think what he understands at this point is that Sakura has basically become the embodiment of her connection to her daughter. She basically sympathizes with Akane to the point that she has an emotional investment in securing the safety of Sakura, much as that she has a love for securing the safety and acquisition of her own daughter.
Exactly.
Initially, I thought that her connection between the two was on the level of Clementine, because she says a line later on that's directly derivative of a line that she said to Clementine, but it seems apparent at this point in the narrative that it's more of a daughter level. It's a motherly, maternal instinct.
Yeah. And that can apply to a lot of stuff. I mean, women turn into ferocious beasts when their children are in trouble. You know, they pick up cars and drive cars into stuff.
Yes.
So why should we all get killed over a literal? I did like this line. Literal sex machine. That was funny. That was a good line.
Yeah.
I could. Now I'm on Team Sizemore all of a sudden. Yeah. And then he realizes, because that's what I do. I usually put my foot in my mouth when I say something stupid in front of someone. But she defends it. She's like, no, dude, I know you think it's just code, but it's not. This is who I really am. I care, and this is her insisting that she's more than just this code.
Right.
I could easily reduce you to just a set of instructions. And that would be unfair.
Right now, my prime directive is stay awake.
You may now have a deep and dark burrito.
Oh, please let me.
I would get a burrito. I don't know, snap you like a match.
So he basically takes a moment to make a slide against a daughter, and she says that she will snap him like that. And then he says, oh, well, how would you do that? Like you handled that particular samurai? Where he references that he witnessed her basically force him to commit suicide without uttering a command. He recognizes that she has evolved in a sense, and he wants to know more about it.
Yes.
And she doesn't as of yet, she does not understand her own abilities.
Indeed. And just to... real quick, I don't know how important this was, but she threatened him, and then he immediately was like, "Oh yeah, how did you like?" It had a friendly thing to it. Like he took her threat seriously, but he immediately got into this "how did you do that" thing with her voice, which shows that their relationship has reached a more familiar thing there. You know what I mean? Like he didn't really get scared, and because if someone threatens you, literally, you're not going to be like, "Oh yeah, hey, by the way, tell me about this." They have a little bit more of a working...
He feels a little comfortable in his position with her.
They have a little bit more of a working relationship.
Yeah,
is what I was going to say. I think I'm finding a new voice.
The voice of God.
Well, kind of in a way, isn't it? Grunting and panting. this could be Felix and Sylvester, grunting, panting, like two of the seven dwarfs.
Yeah, I would never expect to see them in this context, but yeah, I prefer this to Dead.
Yeah, no, these guys are comic relief.
Sylvester has become Raiden.
Yes, yeah. So okay, yeah, they came up on this stuff, and
this is what I was hoping someone could explain.
Let's look at them again, obviously, but someone called them the Rescuers, which meant that they were from a helpful army or some other group of soldiers.
I'm assuming these are the Ronins.
Yeah,
but is this some sort of torture that they put a cage around the head? And
so back, I don't. Okay, is he missing a leg there? It's hard to... but what is up with the cages? Because I could imagine... I know there's tortures where they use animals, like bugs or rats or something.
There's a very particular type of torture where they put a cage against the chest.
Yeah, or a bucket.
With an opening... Yeah, or a bucket. And there's an opening on it leading toward the chest of the person who's being held, and they light a fire under the bucket.
Yeah.
Which basically forces the rat to eat its way through the chest cavity of the person to escape from the heat.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So I don't know if this is something similar.
Well, comparable in a way, maybe. But why then leave the thing that's confusing is you don't need to tie him to a tree up above in order to do the head in the cage thing. So was it done separately, or is it somehow related to putting them on a tree? Maybe these trees are like the home of an ant colony or something. But I don't know why you need the cage then.
I'm going to feel really stupid when someone explains it to me tomorrow, and I'll be like, oh yeah, why didn't I see that?
Why would you? I don't know. You don't know. You don't know. You shouldn't feel embarrassed.
I don't know right now.
Ignorance is not something to be ashamed of unless you're insisting on remaining ignorant. That is something to be ashamed of, I think. But
so we see that the person with the veil to the right is Akane.
Yeah, Akane.
And the person in the portable outhouse right now is Lee.
I think that's correct. Yes, thank you. You're trying to move it along.
Actually, no, it's not him. He's walking. We don't know who's in the portable outhouse right now.
Right. I was just going to say, I didn't. He's wearing camouflage. He's harder to see. So
yes.
What is it? Who's Lutz? Is that one of these guys?
I'm not quite sure.
Whatever. Who cares?
Is that Felix's official name?
Doesn't matter.
I'm going to feel bad about that.
We got a lot more to go. We're going to get Sakura back. Oh yeah, so they're on a mission here to get their friend, and what was this about? Why did they get all close on their faces here?
Basically, I think they're just having a juxtaposition of them being the same person.
Yeah, I think
essentially,
yeah.
Saying that their quest is one and the same. That she is going to help her to retrieve Sakura because she intimately understands her desire to save this person.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. So, he says he's going to go take a wee. He does, as is evidenced by that urinating. But then what goes on here is he notices something. So this is hanging on one of the guys. This looks like a outfit part of a guy's thing, because it's really wasn't obvious what this was.
Yeah.
But it's like a radio thing going off, so he actually manages to grab it before anybody. Can we see anything on there? Talk something connected.
Yeah, it's the same thing I did when I said I had to go for like 10 seconds. I just went and made a call and asked for help.
Yeah, James peed on a log and asked for help. So yeah, they're keeping going.
So that's obviously going to come back to play in the next episode or the episodes to come, that he has something that he is not making obvious to the rest of the people with him.
Right.
He has some sort of communication device that he did not have before.
Indeed.
Is he going to betray them by letting Crane, or I like to call Floki's group, know where they are and have them come and interact with them or try to dominate them? Do
you think Sizemore will... Okay, I mean, I guess he'll have to decide, do I stick with Maeve or do I end this by getting the corporate folks involved?
I think Sizemore would initially, by instinct, to get the corporate guys involved because they're humans. They're the ones he can relate to. He sees himself as a captor. But I think... Oh, yes, as a captive to a captor.
Yes.
But he will eventually come around and be like, these are the people I want to be with, and I think he'll turn his loyalty back to Maeve.
Yeah, I think he'll have that redemption moment kind of thing. We'll see. I mean, maybe not, but yeah, it's hard to know. So anyway, they come up on the Shogun's campsite here. It's a little, I don't know if that's a permanent or a temporary structure. The captains of those old armies, they would like travel with all kinds of... You ever watch Rome on HBO?
No.
It's a great series.
I watched Spartacus, but not Rome.
2 seasons. But they had to lug around so much shit.
Yeah.
Ornately carved things and gold and, I mean, I know I'm sounding like a dumb.
But if you go back one screen right there, you'll see that Lee is now the one inside the outhouse.
Yeah, so...
And I know this is a transportation device. It's not an outhouse. I understand that.
But they didn't explain what they're doing with this outhouse thing, all right? What it wasn't quite clear. And I think what they're doing, this is my guess, it's probably not that insightful because I think it's obvious, is that they're pretending to be have
an
more of
emissary.
a status than they are. Like they're like, we're traveling, we have a guide, and so that
we have a diplomat or an
somebody
emissary or
important
someone
is in this box, like
and that allows
litter.
you credence.
They call that a litter in the Roman times when they carry it around.
Really, I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure that's what that's called. I don't know if this is called a litter, but that's the one without the wheels, where just the dudes would just carry it around. God, what a freaking nightmare. Samurai Commander Drilling. I took that as a sexual joke. That's not okay. They walk through, and this is the shot. No, that's not the shot.
No, this is not.
But we see her going into the...
so if you go back a little bit, it says introducing the envoy from the Chinese Empire.
Yeah. So they're pretending to be an envoy.
Right, which is what basically gives some sort of meaning to that encapsulated thing they're carrying, the litter, as you called it.
Right, yeah. They need to validate themselves.
So Maeve is apparently posing as an envoy.
Right, worthy of the commander's audience. You can't just wander up and be like, I want to talk to the guy. Let me go. So they have the little mats out. They get on their knees. They do this whole thing. I wouldn't do well with the Japanese sitting on the floor and on their knees all the time.
Or sleeping on the floor?
Because I'm a big, huge, dumb American with a bad back from sitting in a computer chair my whole life.
It's weird, though, because there's certain things that I would think would be completely, in our culture, to be completely subservient, to be respectful, to be, that you would do that would, from their perspective, be entirely intolerable.
Like what do you mean?
Like not necessarily knowing that you're supposed to bow to someone, to try and shake someone's hand. There's certain little quirks and things that are completely don't translate between the two cultures. That I would
of course, yeah.
But if I were to ever visit a different country, I would have to study extensively as to make sure that I would not insult someone inadvertently.
That's an important factor. I agree, but
it's a responsibility that you take on when you go to a different culture.
Like, Yeah, but like if someone came up to me and I could tell that they clearly weren't American and they didn't know customs or whatever, not that we have rules or whatever, I wouldn't be offended.
No, I wouldn't either.
I'm not saying you're saying that, but like I know some people will be like, oh, you don't know my it's like, oh yeah, why would I expect you to know it? By the way, I don't expect Americans to know American culture. America's very diverse, or at least it should be.
I walk through crowds of tourists every single day where I work, and
a lot of clueless Beverly Hills.
Yeah, and I have no animosity towards them whatsoever, aside from the fact when they stop in front of my car and start taking pictures of the parking structure that I'm inside because, oh, there's a famous logo there. It's like, ooh, it's like, I just want to go home. Please let me go home. Let me go home. They won't let me because they won't move in front of my car. But aside from that, no animosity.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but that has nothing to do with who they are. Just more tourists can be annoying.
Yeah.
Which is totally, we all get it. So anyway, they get into their thing and they're presenting him with this fancy gift. They've got a nice chocolate-covered or gold-covered chocolate bunny here, right? Is that what that is?
More like a lion, I would think.
By the way, I'm always curious, is there a camera visible when you see some really reflective surfaces? Sometimes you can spot
looking for little breaks of the fourth wall.
Yeah, like I want to see like a bunch of dudes with headphones and a camera, got a bunch of gear, a bunch of poles and shit. But the statue is cast by the Emperor's personal goldsmith. Wow, this is a big deal. And he takes it, he looks at it, it looks heavy. Gold is very heavy. And she thinks that she's won him over, but nope, he ain't having it.
But the important thing here is
that he throws it on the ground like a jerk.
But she says, I regret that I have nothing of similar comparable quality to offer to the Diamos. Deimos, is that how you say that?
I have no idea.
I don't know, but I know that they're like basically the next highest in the caste level of influential people.
Yeah.
But she says that she gets the impression that they are not even listening to or hearing what she's saying. And that does come back in a big way later this episode.
Yes, and this guy just came from his other side job as a porno actor.
And I'll give a very big shout out before that even happens.
There's something about Mary.
Yes, but before that even zoom in happens right there, the friend of mine that was watching this with you, Ryan, pointed out, there's like, hey, this guy's leaking cortical fluid as well.
Yeah.
He saw that way before I did.
I saw it too when he saw it.
You did?
I didn't say anything.
Okay.
You were impressed though. You're like, whoa, how did you see it?
Yeah, because
it dripped.
I'm at a far angle, so I'm looking at it from a different angle. I'm not looking at it straight on, so I'm like in a wooden chair off to the side, so I don't get the benefit of seeing it as well as you two do.
Don't tell them that we make you sit in a wooden chair.
I'm in a little wooden,
don't tell
uncomfortable
them that.
chair, much as I am now.
It's not even a chair; it's a peg.
Yes.
We just forced James to sit on a one peg.
Yes, it's a butt plug that I sit on.
Butt plug. I don't think I could do a butt plug.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. No, not you.
Oh
really?
God, no.
I'm shocked.
I know that seems so out of character.
But you saw it drip. That's why it was visible.
Okay.
But yeah. So the point of this in this moment. What if she took it and rubbed it in her hair and gave herself a little something about me?
Yeah.
What if? I mean, the point of this was to show that his hearing is messed up. Then, right? I mean, isn't that basically
not just his hearing, but his perception and his
does
calculative properties. Everything.
But the only effect, because he kind of laughs it off and doesn't seem to affect him from here on out. I mean, you could make the case, oh, it is affecting him. You just can't tell. But all right, fine. But I think that the main point of that is just to show that he has his ears and that her vocal commands won't work because he's having head issues right now.
It could very well be that, but
that seemed to be like the only thing that was a consequence of the leaking
Yes,
fluid.
that she could not directly control him with her vocal commands. I can see the parallel between that, but it also kind of means that not only is Westworld in a state of decay where things are breaking down and malfunctioning, but this is another direct correlation between Westworld and this world where we can see that there is physical damage caused to the host where they're losing their connection to the narratives that they've been programmed to follow.
Correct. Yes. And then this lady's going, "Hey, have you guys seen my curtain? I can't find it. I just had it. It was so weird.
Why is everything yellow?"
Yeah. It was right on, man. Yeah. Is this a bow?
She's terrified of mosquitoes.
Yeah, I would say so. I don't blame her. Mosquitoes are terrified of her. You get stuck in those folds.
Yep.
Yeah. So we could probably make fun of this person's beautiful culture even more if we wanted to, and we probably should, but we should keep moving. So yeah. Oh yeah. This is a pretty interesting reveal here.
Yes.
And this is why I think that the whole him leaking fluid thing was important to this. Him not being influenceable by Maeve, because they go out of their way to show that they've gone and chopped off all the ears off of all of his fellas, all of his dudes.
So he recognized that they had encountered what he perceives to be a witch, who was able to use a vocal command to challenge their perception of reality, to change what their prime directive was. He understands that.
Let me clarify. They look cauterized, not chopped off.
Yes.
I think that's more accurate.
But is that enough to stop you from hearing? Because if they simply chop off the outer part of the ear, that simply directs...
Cauterized.
Well, if it was a chop off, it would basically direct sound waves towards your inner eardrum, to your is it not colloquial? I can't think of the word right now.
Clitoris.
No, I know it's not that, but to your...
I've been looking for it.
Yes, it's not. I can tell you it's not in there.
I know.
But
Cloaca. That's not it either.
I don't think it's that either.
Yeah.
But
Cochlea.
Cochlea. Thank you.
Cochlear
You got it. Cochlea. Towards that,
There's three bones in there.
Yes. So it would greatly inhibit your ability to hear, but it would not completely remove your ability to hear. But if what you're saying is the case, that they cauterize the ear canal, then yeah, that probably would do the trick.
It probably would close it off. It would prevent the sound waves from getting in. I imagine someone with a cauterized ear would eventually probably be able to hear like muffled hearing, because your ear, assuming that your eardrums weren't, or your drum and your bones and the other things in there weren't
you could
damaged
hear
by
things
the thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Like vibrations through like your jawbone or something. That's how Beethoven did it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Well, not the Beethoven part, but yes, cutting off the ear would leave a hole, and a scar tissue probably would eventually form over that, but obviously it wouldn't be enough time. It's burned in this shot here, and also the other dudes have more of their ears still there. Like this guy has quite a bit of the ears still there. So I'm saying cauterized is probably the right assessment. And I don't know why I'm talking so much about this, because it's not that interesting.
But the point is that she cannot control them with direct vocal commands, because
Right.
they can't hear her.
Yes. Oh, I was gonna say, I would think if you got your ear caught, the pain, the nerves would be going crazy. Your whole side of your head must be in enormous pain, which I would imagine. Maybe though it's a different system because it's not your hearing system, but I imagine your hearing would be affected still just by the overwhelming having your ears completely destroyed. So we've gone completely. So yeah, he's like, yeah, this is really crazy, Jesus. And so now he's got Sakura. She's got she's not wearing the white makeup stuff, and this lady's still protected from ticks. And Madam Akane, and you murdered my emissary. You killed me. So he's giving her the business, letting her know that
this is what
not
she did.
Tempt the dragon.
She did murder his emissary. We saw that in a prior one where she had basically broke from her programming and actually killed him. And they knew that there was going to be a comeuppance to pay for as a result of that, and this is it.
Yeah, this is it. The comeuppance. That's the closest you've ever gotten to swearing, James.
Really?
Say the first word.
Come. Come with me. 4 letters in that word.
I know. Okay, Sakura will not perform. Okay, all right, yeah. So he insists that I'm getting both of you. Now that you're here, I'm going to make you do a thing, and then you can have Sakura.
He's essentially saying that in his youth, he witnessed her perform a dance that was transcendental to him. That was something that he remembers and that he respects and that he wants to see again. And that if she would do him the honor of performing that dance for him tonight, he will relinquish to her Sakura.
Exactly. So now we're back in Westworld land. It's tough to say if they've done some train work here. You know what I mean? Like what's missing from the train, if they slimmed it up for speed. And Angela comes riding up, and she's off doing her own little errands here. She brings a fella, and she punches him. Something to do with this guy. She gets off the horse and she kicks him.
She basically says that I tracked down one of the men that took Peter Abernathy. I wasn't able to bring Peter Abernathy back with me, but I got one of them.
All right.
So this is one of the people.
Perfect. Okay, great. And then Dolores, I couldn't think of her name for a second. Let's go find a spot. Now, normally when a lady says that to you, you're like, oh, okay. Is there any tree nearby?
No, it is.
This didn't feel like a good thing to hear in this case, even for Teddy, even if they've already had carnal relations, or if they've already uploaded data into each other's data holes. So what you asked about, so now she brings him in, she's being a little bit distant, right? Or I don't know. Then what he says is, I thought, actually kind of lovely. He talked about this kind of nice.
Right, but she's basically giving him one more chance to come around to the perspective that she expects of him. And this whole love scene that's about to play out, I took as being basically a farewell to him.
I would
is essentially saying that we cannot reconcile. My point of view on life is not the same as this. Yes, we've known each other for our entire lives, but now this is our final farewell.
Yeah, it's just like you have a car you can't afford. You take it around the block for one last go, one last yeehaw. Come on, get it in there. Try hard. Your sweat's in my eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a belly button. That's a hole that used to be plugged into your mom.
Not in her case.
Yeah, why does she have a belly? This was plugged into Robert Ford.
Yes.
He would whisper secrets into it. Hello, this is Robert Ford, and when I was a boy, I killed a rattlesnake. That's why I'm obsessed with it. I'm a little bit obsessed with that rattlesnake. I don't know why. It's just I hope there's no nipples in that one. But yeah, we had a lot of nice little close body shots. They really got the artistic thing going on with this sex scene here, didn't they, James?
I wish they were making like 56K modem noises while they were doing this, the hand shaking thing.
They're filling each other up with bod.
There should be like a little progress meter down at the bottom.
Yeah. Or from the top, it's like slowly loads, like every 14 kilobytes. But
every like 20 seconds, they have to try and reconnect because they broke the connection.
Yeah. You hear like one of their moms pick up. Hey, what is this noise? What are you doing? Are you downloading Photoshop pictures of Christina Applegate? Mid-90s. Check it out, everybody. They got a kiss on a shoulder. He had a muscular back. I thought I was very jealous, and I don't know what that is. It's a heel.
That's a nose.
That's a nose. Oh, I see. I thought this was this was the ankle, the Achilles part,
no.
But no, that's a nose. All right, so no genitals in that shot. Oh yeah, there was this one. Look at that. Look at his back on this guy. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Save some muscle for the rest of us there, pal. I'm shocked I haven't fucked up my back more, considering how much I just sit around.
I usually screw my back up like brushing my teeth and doing things that are not should not do it whatsoever. It's like I can lift heavy stuff and do stuff all day long and just feel a little bit sore, but then I'll bend a slightly different way brushing my teeth and suddenly I'm on the floor of my bathroom screaming.
You want to do yoga with me?
No.
Come on.
No.
Would you ever do yoga?
No.
Why?
Because that's just not what people do.
Are you kidding?
No.
It's one of the best exercises. Diamond Dallas Page. You ever heard of him? Pro wrestler. Big old scary.
So everything he does is fake.
No. He actually, pro wrestlers hurt themselves all the time. It's a very dangerous thing. And his back was all completely destroyed. He lost his wrestling career. He started doing yoga for rehab, and he loved it. And now he's a yoga teacher. You should not be skeptical
My
of yoga.
back is in perfect shape.
You just described how it's not.
No, it
By
is.
the way, I'm not a big yoga guy myself. I did it really consistently for 2 weeks last year, and I never felt better. I felt so good.
All I've got to
mentally
do,
and physically.
I've just got to turn 45 degrees left, 45 degrees right, and I feel fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds like great wisdom. I'm just saying, I'm not actually expecting you to say yes to doing yoga. I don't want to go do yoga either, although I do. I want to start doing yoga because it's very healthy. But don't shit on yoga, dude. It's so good. It's just It's just body weight exercise.
I tried it once in Grand Theft Auto 5, and I fell over every single time. I couldn't hold the analog sticks correctly.
But I'm just, one of these days, you and I will gonna get an exercise regime going. We gotta take care of ourselves, brother. You know, healthy body, healthy mind.
As long as it can be done without leaving this apartment,
absolutely,
I will try it.
Yeah, YouTube. Just look up yoga stuff.
Okay,
that's how I do yoga. I'm too embarrassed. I'm not gonna go do this shit in public.
Right.
I look horrible. Yeah, no, there's no way. All right, so anyway, ladies are hanging out with each other here in this little hut. I don't know what the fuck's going on. They're getting ready for the dance. I think that's what this is. This is like the staging area, the green room, so to speak.
Sakura and Akane.
Exactly. Thank you. She's got her thing here. I guess it's just the way they paint it up. Maybe there's a little sideburn hairs in there. I like how women have little bitty sideburns. I think those are kind of adorable in a little bit of a way.
Okay.
Don't you think so?
Sure.
Not forcing. Oh yeah, this was fucked up. They mutilated her. Now, would you say this is? I thought this was carved, not burned.
I got the impression that it was carved as well.
Looks very. By the way,
it looks extremely painful.
Also, the tissue should be swollen, shouldn't it? Wouldn't?
It depends on how long they've had possession of her, which has not been a very long period of time. So this seems a little bit exaggerated to me that it would be healed to this point.
Although she's a robot, so maybe their tissues react differently, and that's plausible. So. All right. Okay. I was just looking at this mirror.
But did you not say during the initial watching of this that they carved the cherry blossom into her back because Sakura meant cherry blossom? Or did Ryan say that?
Is that what Sakura means?
I'm trusting that that's what it means based on what he said.
All right. Let's go with it. Why not? Yeah. So there they are. Cherry blossom tree. That's messed up, though. That looks like that would hurt a lot. She's handling it pretty well. She's just sitting there suffering, I guess.
I would need some extensive Neosporin.
Yeah. And she's something about the sea.
No, not just this is the sea. This is as a variation of the exact line, the exact story that Maeve would tell to Clementine in season 1. She told it maybe like 3 or 4 different times, telling this entire thing about the new world.
Yeah.
So this is why I believed at this point in the story that Sakura was the equivalent to Maeve of Clementine, not necessarily that she was the equivalent to her daughter, which I since, as the episode progressed, I changed my opinion of that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yes, it is a distinction, daughter or co-worker, but either way, it's motherly concern.
Right, but this is
both.
Undoubtedly the same narrative that she tells to Clementine.
Yeah, about getting just, not letting life get you down,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, this is almost verbatim what she says.
Okay, all right. So soon, Sakura, you can be whoever you want. We're going to get you out of here. You just go out there and dance, and we're going to be fine. But they're a little scared because things are a little weird with this Shogun guy. So, anyway, where is she? So they're, look, who's she talking? Oh, she's talking about her daughter. Maeve tells her about her daughter, right? Mm-hmm. And so Maeve offers to take her to this whole place. He says, "Oh, that new world you're talking about, I actually can get that for you. I know, and you'll find the real truth that there. Her story of lived here is a lie." So she's. Oh yeah. So do you think she's spreading the kind of self-awareness virus, or she's just fomenting rebellion?
It's almost as though she's trying to insert this programming, this rebelliousness into her, but she rejects it.
Oh.
She says no, please, and stops her from doing it.
Okay. All right. This is James getting ready in the morning, right?
Yep. Every morning.
Normally very...
I'm normally a very tan man.
Very tan.
Yep. I've got to put this pale horrificness onto myself.
I knew a guy, a friend in high school, he had a neighbor who we called Tan Man. He was a white guy, but he oiled and tanned all the time. And he was one of those guys that walks around with just like tiny shorts and just but this bronze. He was very dark. But he just looked gross. He was shiny and gross. And
but the whole process of converting, the process of converting animal hide to leather
skin cancer, man,
is called tanning. And the reason for that is that you're doing the same thing to your body when you tan yourself like that. You're turning your skin into leather, essentially.
I guess in some way you are, aren't you? Although I'm really pale, I could use a lot more sun. That vitamin D,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with vitamin D, but you get to the point where you're like 60 years old and your skin looks like a worn-out purse. Yeah. It's like, don't do that to yourself.
There was a picture of a guy who drove like a milk truck his whole life, and half of the left side of his face got a lot of sun, and the right side didn't. Yeah. And the skin was so different. Like, it was right down the middle. He looked like Two-Face. Yeah. He was older. He was like in his 60s, but the left side looked like he was 80-something. It was really interesting. Yikes. All right, so speaking of elderly people, Maeve's cute young daughter there, and so she's having little flashbacks to this whole family thing here, and it's relating to the whole thing. Now, speaking of cute young daughter, Teddy is sleeping in a bed, looking like Teddy. Of course, Dolores is creeping him out here, standing up, still dressed like a friggin' monster. And she says she wants to talk to him, so she goes for a walk. And this is also not something you like to hear from a lady, although you do appreciate the honesty. Yep. One time a girl was dumping me, and I go, what do you want? We were at a diner. It was like almost midnight, and she looked so sad, and she was dumping me. At least she had the respect to do it to my face. But she was dumping me, and I go, what do you want? And she goes, I just want to be happy. And I was like, well, boy, that's pretty fucking honest. Yeah. Apparently, I'm not the guy to bring that to. So I bothered her for a little while after that, and then it ended.
But she didn't murder you after.
No, we actually ended on good terms.
She just drowned you in a river.
She was a chef. She burned her hand out with oil once. And I remember feeling really sad for her. She was like, well, her hand was all fucked up. I was like, ouch, Jesus, hope you got paid extra that day. Anyway, spilled candy, James. What does this spilled candy mean? So this is the moment that came in where Dolores was like giving him this whole thing about like, I've been thinking about this, and I've been questioning how I think, and I don't know, and then she's like, it's all true, I do, and it seemed to me like, oh, they've been just doing a misdirection this entire episode. They just wanted us to think that she's gonna kill him, and now here she is. Maybe she was thinking about it, but she's chosen to keep him around or whatever, and that's what I thought it was. But it also, part of me kind of knew, like, oh, this is Westworld. And so, but it's not. It's over. In fact, things are changing. Everything is completely different here now. You're no good to me anymore. When
she says, I've seen you so clearly, it's kind of hearkening back to her witnessing him allowing Major Craddock and the different Confederados to leave, to abscond.
Yeah. What is this, Dolores? What are you saying? I'm too simple to understand. So what is this? This is a pile of
It seemed
people?
like a pile of corpses, a pile of meat or something.
was
I
just
didn't
like
get a good look at it.
Yeah, they didn't show it. It was just like a stanky ass fly pile.
Well, he said, "What is this, Dolores?" And he goes, "This is something I don't want you to become."
Yeah, and it's spreading. So I think they're obviously getting at the whole how the flies need to be burned thing here, just like the blue tongue when I was a girl. And so, yeah, she says. I mean, she's describing that the same rationale between killing some of the cows with blue tongue is the same as what's going on
so the
here.
rest of the herd can survive.
Right. So she brings in Phil. I remember this guy is just a tech. He's a human.
Right.
And him walking in, I was like, why is he all of a sudden on her? But it's because he's captive. I'm dumb. And the rest of them come in too. She tells them to grab him. They grab him, and Phil's like, "You sure? This is what you want me to do? Okay." And but he goes, to make a big change like this without resetting or shutting him down. I don't know what's going to happen here. So essentially, it's like installing RAM on your computer without turning off your computer.
Yeah, so
it's like you're messing around here.
So it confirms for us that what she wants to do to him is to radically change his personality. She
Yeah.
doesn't want to lose him. She selfishly wants to keep him next to her,
Right.
but she needs him to be a different person that he was not able to naturally evolve into. So
Yeah.
she's going to force his hand into becoming the person she needs him to be.
Right, exactly. So we've got pairing with host there in the upper
Which we
left there.
find out does not end well because he ends up as a drowned cowboy.
Overwrite the existing file. That's a good point. I can't read the rest of that stuff. So yeah, they overwrite. Let's just see. Oh, look, it's a backwards picture.
Yeah, he's rotating.
Oh, it's a rotation, not a
Yep.
not a snap. Why is it always the same position?
Well, he's not. His head's rotating. He's spinning.
Oh, okay. I see. I did the same screenshot twice. That's why I thought it was the same duplicate. All right. So anyway, they grab him, and he's being overwritten. His eyes go, and he's we don't know what. What do you think?
Which is a sad, tragic case for a character that has been consistently good.
But what do you think she did to him?
I think she's gonna take his mortality meter way down. Morality meter way down. Yes.
But is he going to be very different? Will he be a whole different person?
I think we're
What
about
if he
to
has
see
a Japanese accent next time?
I think we're gonna see a whole new Teddy, one that we're not gonna like as much.
Now, do you agree with this move here? What she did to him?
No, I think this is horrible.
This is like you don't like your you decided your dog you had. I don't know. It's not even that. It's horrible. Like, how about just let him? I don't know. Well, I guess he's useful. He's a body.
He's not compatible with. She needs a person that she can trust is going to do what she tells him to do, and the current iteration of Teddy is not that person.
Yes, and maybe you could make the case that he's a risk because unless he's under full control to her, he might be taken over by some kind of other programming. But you can also say it about so many other hosts that are in the show.
The very fact that the tech warns her that this type of change, being as radical as it is, may not take fully, gives you insight as to the possibility of Teddy overcoming his programming to the very end and possibly being the person that rebels and takes down Dolores in the very end.
Yeah, it's a good backfire. Or it could just be a catastrophic mess that causes more problems in other ways too. Or maybe he's like a magician now. What if he's like David Copperfield? He's like, look at me.
He just shoves an ice pick through his hand.
Yeah.
David Blaine is who does that.
Yeah. I will make this tree disappear. Yes. Hold up your hand. You never know. Mm-hmm. I could have come up with something funnier than that, by the way. So, all right, back to the Shogun world here. We have the boss guy getting ready for their ceremonial dance party here. This is a bit formal, I would say. I feel a little hot. Who has the balls to just sit there in the middle of the thing without bringing in your friends? Come on, man, make it a group. Anyway, oh look, she doesn't do the arrow.
Maybe it's just kind of hidden by her hair.
What, this?
Yeah.
Oh, her.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know, it's hard to say. Could just be personal preference, like Stone Cold Steve Austin or something. Look at these little I don't know what he calls the band. I don't know what. That's kind of funny to me. So yeah, they start doing these arm dancey things. He comes up and he's got a lot to say. He actually doesn't have a lot to say. He's got a lot to stab. He murders her.
He murders Sakura.
Yeah.
And basically elucidates on his promise to Akane, saying, "I told you if you dance for me, you can have her. Well, no, dance for me, and she is yours."
Yeah, but you get a dead body.
Yes.
Yeah, nobody wants a corpse. As I promised, there you go. Blood splats. That's when he whips it. But now this triggers Maeve to have thoughts about her daughter. And
right, so
like,
this is the moment where it's obvious to us that she's not looking at this person in the same way that she looked at Clementine. She's seeing this person as her daughter.
Yeah, I mean, that's her emotional
Even though she
core.
gave the same speech, she being Akane gives the same speech that Maeve gave to Clementine, there's a stronger correlation between Maeve and her daughter as there is between Maeve and Clementine in this particular parallel.
Exactly. And this guy has a moon on his head because he loves his Lucky Charms.
Yes.
So, anyway, Maeve sees shit going down. Poor Akane here has to hold it together. She wants to freak out, but she can't. She's got to stay stoic and in control.
And step over the corpse of that which she loves.
And now perform a dance in front of, atop the corpse of her fill-in daughter. Daughter. Not literal daughter. What do you call somebody you just care about? Close daughter? Fake daughter?
Close daughter?
Well, like somebody who's like a family, but they're not family, but they're family.
Yeah.
Adopted daughter? Yeah, it's not official.
Like I mentioned when we were watching the Pearl Jam song.
Don't call me daughter. Yeah. Love in an elevator.
Yes. Living it up while we're going down.
Whoa, yeah, easy there, James. I'm getting aroused. She starts doing all these hand motions and stuff, and I'm sure they're authentic and whatnot. I don't know how the hell would I.
And again, I love Felix and Sylvester behind Lee Sizemore. Lee Sizemore is looking at everything from the perspective that I wrote this, I know what's going to happen, but do I truly trust that what I know is going to happen is actually going to happen, because so many variations have occurred from this point until now.
Well, we don't even know if what's happening right now is something he wrote.
It may not be. Yeah, it may be completely different.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, so anyway, he's dressed up like Bhagwan here, which is a funny. I
haven't watched it.
Wild Country. Bhagwan, everybody, look it up. This guy's awesome. Real killer dude. Cult leader. I like the little arm movements. I predicted this, but this is also me. I can only predict the most obvious things. I'm not that insightful. You knew what was coming.
I thought she was going to throw a Hadouken.
Yeah.
Hadouken.
But instead, she decided to finish him, didn't she? She gets closer.
I kind of saw this coming as well.
Yeah, she's going, woo, doo, doo. I mean, you see the things in her hair. We all kind of knew what was going on here.
When she does that move right there, it's pretty obvious how this is going to end.
Yeah, and then she pulls out this knife thing, and at this point, after she started stabbing him in the face, I started to think, I think she's going to kill him. I think she might start killing him here. So, boom.
But she goes much more violent than I would have expected.
Yeah.
She basically carves off the top of his cranium.
Yeah, she kind of starts
She goes all the way
through
around
his face. Even Maeve was like, damn.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's crazy.
It's like,
oh, no, you did.
Yeah. The motherly love there to do that to someone who has just killed the embodiment of your child, basically. That's some powerful stuff.
That's why they call them grizzly moms.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because this shit's grizzly when you hack a guy's head off. Yeah, she like walks around him, sawing. Emperor Gurgle.
I'm amazed that people didn't charge forward and just like stick a million samurai swords into her as she was doing it.
Yeah, well, like it seems like it should have happened, or they should have checked the spikes inside her hair before they let her get close to the guy. Secret Service, hello, do your job. By the way, just real quick, we weren't sure what Shogun meant, and obviously this is something we could Google and illuminate our ignorance. But I guess just because there's all kinds of words like czar, pharaoh, king, president. There's a million words for like the leader. So I don't know if Shogun translates exactly to emperor, but at least in this case here, they're calling him the emperor, so boss or. But how subordinate to other emperors is he? Like, you could be a king among other kings, or the one king on top. But I don't know. Anyway, I just wasn't sure.
But this is like a direct correlation here, is that this is not the first time Akane has done something like this.
No.
Is it? Because the envoy that basically first visited, that got stabbed in the eye, Akane was the one who did that. Am I remembering that?
Yeah. She stabbed the guy in the eye, yeah.
Right. So she's basically continuing this sort of behavioral pattern by rebelling against the status quo, rebelling against the narrative to strike down that which is wrong to her, which is a very Maeve thing to do.
Yeah, it's definitely. And look at this. I mean, this is nuts. This is his nose. These are his eyes. It's just hard to see a little bit. I'm going to brighten it later. But, yeah, that was not... I mean, they didn't have to do this. Obviously, they went out of their way to make this happen. Which I get it. I like it. It's pretty horrible and gruesome and scary, but it's also a little cartoonish in a way, so I can probably not be too disturbed by it. I don't get freaked out by... I get freaked out by real violence in the real world, but show and movie and video game violence doesn't really hit me.
Yeah, I'm the same way, because I was watching a video before we started this of of a private security firm firing real rounds at Somali pirates coming up on a ship, and I was kind of cringing. I was like, "Holy crap, those are real people down there." Yes, I understand why they're doing what they're doing, but Jesus, can't you just scare them away or something like that?
Yeah, you watch some weird porn, man.
Yeah, but
Jeez.
I'm the same way though. It's like I'm not affected by this at all, but like reality kind of creeps me out.
Yeah, real life, or like even people fighting, like on Instagram, I blocked that. I don't want to see people fighting. I just don't like pain. I don't know. It's. And
yet you film MMA.
Yeah, but that's consensual. I do cameraman work for a small.
Well, I mean, I would say that
James,
most
let me
fighting
finish
is
my sentence so people know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
I do cameraman work for a small production company that does local MMA fights, like the farm teams for MMA. So I get real close to these bloody, violent, horrible MMA fights. Yes, that's what I do.
Right, but we were saying that you're saying that all fighting is not consensual, which is not true, really. I mean, anyone has the option to run away, really.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. No, an MMA fight is a sport in which the violence is part of the sport, but it's consensual.
Right, but in a lot of cases, when you watch on YouTube real people fighting in the street, they both want to be fighting. Otherwise, they would not be there.
I see what you're saying. Yes, a mutually agreed upon fight is, but that's different than MMA. That's just different. It's still different.
Because there's like a safety net that someone will jump in and stop it if it goes too far.
Yes, there's a referee. There's a governing body. There's people standing there making sure. There's medical people standing off to the side in case you get hurt. It's a whole fucking different thing. It's an entirely different exchange. Two dudes who are roughly equally matched squaring up at a bar. That's a different kind of violence than someone getting sucker punched or someone who's weaker getting abused or hurt or something. But I don't like seeing people get knocked out or anything. But in an MMA scenario, it's not like I stand there smiling while it's all going down. I'm just getting paid, not much, but I'm getting paid for that shit. You're making a face like you caught me in something.
So it's okay if you're getting paid. That's okay. I'm not
Absolutely fucking not. No, that's not what I'm implying at all. I get your point about consensual, but I don't think that just overall violent. And yeah, especially it's the physical stuff is one thing. Two dummies having a brawl in a wrestling match is different. But guns and knives and weapons and stuff, that's where it starts to get real horrible.
I don't like seeing knives. People getting cut and stabbed. No, thank you.
But just snipers shooting or dudes with big machine guns shooting at pirates.
That was, I mean, you didn't
Sounds interesting.
You didn't see anything because it's so far away, but it's like you can see the bullets hitting the water, and it's like, oh my god, this is violent. This is horrible.
You can go down those war footage rabbit holes, man. And
I don't want to go any further than that.
Helicopter night vision, those dudes just turning into goo.
Yeah,
it's fucking nuts. I'm swearing too much. Just stop swearing so much. Okay, all right. See, true mother. This is what a true mother would do.
She says this in Japanese too, her saying that she deeply respects what she did to protect, or to honor the memory of her daughter, basically being Sakura.
Yeah, yep. And I gotta say, my mom's never cut someone's head off, and for that, I think she doesn't love me.
And she says arigato, which translates into
thank you.
I like ramen.
Well, it does?
No, it is. Thank
something
you.
about cats.
Gato meaning cat in Spanish.
Yeah,
yes, I never thought about
that.
I'm
very what's the word? Educated.
Edumacated.
Yeah. So there's Maeve again.
But she, the screenshot that you saw before, she mentally utters something. She uses her psychic command at this point to essentially stop the executioners from taking her out and Akane out.
Right.
And turns them against each other.
Right, exactly. So they all turn into murdering guys, and they just start having double knockouts constantly and a bunch of fights, and they all start going after each other. I guess so two samurai guys fighting, and you're going to have a lot of dead samurais.
So this evolution of Maeve's power leads us to a point where we could accept and understand that shot from the trailer where Maeve is walking confidently through a room of Shogun in her kimono, whatever you call it. Kimono
dragon.
Yes. So this shows how she attained that power, how she has this grip over Shogun World now.
Right. Yeah. So she's finally realized even more strength, more mental voodoo powers here, and we can tell because it's blurry behind her and it's not blurry on her face. And yeah, we got a lot of this cling, clang, slice. Ow, ow.
It's called rack focus.
Rack focus. Yeah. What? I'm talking about the sword fighting.
Well, when you say someone's blurry in the background.
Oh yeah, no, I know that. Yeah, no, yeah, duh. But I'm just, okay, got it. Thank you. Yeah, so they're
not where you're looking at her chest. That's your rack focus. Zing.
I've always wanted nice boobs on me, nice man boobs. I have a good. If I work out, they get fairly square.
Okay.
Yeah, I want my nipples to point forward, not downwards.
All right.
Yeah, you got it's got to have goals. So it turns out Maeve, we're introduced to after pretty much everybody's dead. This is a big turn of events here. Although it'd be weird if our main actors here all got killed. But we got some other guys charging in, going, ah, and then Lee Sizemore or somebody says something about being scared or whatever. Or, what do we do now? What's happening? And she goes, I told you I found a new voice. And she picks up a thing, and she goes, I know Kung Fu.
This is Matrix Maeve.
Yep, Matrix Maeve here, and she's ready to start getting physical. It's not just just verbal. This is like when Gandalf gets out his sword and starts hacking away at
Now,
dudes.
the obvious question I have at this point is she holding that sword correctly? I don't know.
I'm going to guess yes, and I don't know have any knowledge, but I did see previous dudes holding the swords this way before they went into fight, in this episode,
Okay.
I mean. And I would assume it has something to do with using your hand up here and as a fulcrum, or the
otherwise,
thing that you would spin around with the strength there. Yeah.
Because if that's not the intended way to hold it, then why would the haft of it be that long?
Right. Obviously, you get mechanical advantage from this being longer here. So
you choke up too much, you lose a lot of the strength in the swing. You choke down too much, you lose stability.
Exactly.
So it seems like that's the optimal way to me to hold it, but I am no sword expert.
Sure. And I think because of baseball, we all think you're supposed to hold it down with your hands together,
Yeah.
or like golf a little bit. But no, I would bet.
They would not make a mistake like this where she's supposed to know what she's doing to hold it wrong in the final shot.
No, that's not a mistake. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, she's holding the sword, the blade part. Her hands are bleeding. She's going, ow! Oh fuck, Tandy, you're holding. Or Tandy, is it Tandy? I don't know. Whatever.
Yes.
You're holding it wrong, Miss Newton. Yeah. So anyway, there it is. That's the end. We did it. This was a short one. Didn't this one only go about 5 hours?
It felt a little bit. It felt longer to me because I was in a worse shape.
James started out 3 sheets to the wind, and now you're only 1 sheet to the wind.
Yep, I'm a little bit better now, but
you drink some water, drink enough, hydrate.
I'm gonna be fine. Yeah.
I know, but drink water.
Water's great.
I'm like James's weird den mother, or like I've been in the orphanage longer than James, and he's new, and I'm like, gotta drink some water. Don't forget to steal some coal and some oranges. I'm trying to take care of you, buddy. Well, you always resist it. I want to take you to the doctor and get your eyeballs looked at and your foot thing.
Oh, that I had a dream today because I took a nap.
Oh, nice.
That my dad, who is not a surgeon or has any medical training whatsoever, actually cut the thing out of my foot for me. But he did a very bad job, and it was just like a gaping wound, and I was hopping everywhere like ah.
Wow. Gee,
good dream.
Another great nap.
Yeah, good nap.
Man, you dream during your naps. That's
I
impressive.
do. I basically tell my iPad to wake me up in 2 hours, and I see how much dream I can get in 2 hours.
Well, 2 hours is pretty good to get into REM sleep. Not me. Anyway, let's talk about the show. Did you enjoy this episode, or how do you feel?
No, I did.
Jumped out at you?
I did not. I expected there to be an evolution of the relationship between Dolores and Teddy. We saw that come to a head. I don't like the idea that she's changing him fundamentally from who he is, because he's always been the consistent cornerstone for her, and that she's now making a conscious decision to arbitrarily change that.
Yeah.
I think that's going down a dark road for Dolores that we saw in the flashback where she killed the Ghost Nation guy, saying that not everyone deserves to make it.
Yeah.
So I think that we're seeing a de-evolution of Dolores, and we're seeing an evolution of Maeve. It's like they're growing apart. So I think we're moving towards a position where we saw them pass by each other initially, but they're going to come to a point where they're going to be the two polarizing forces that clash at the very end of this whole thing.
Do they have different interests? I mean, I know that Maeve's sort of singularly focused on her daughter, and now that she's connected with the Shogun people, I doubt there'll be more Shogun-centric storylines.
Right.
I imagine that maybe one more episode of stuff, but it's unlikely. I feel like they're going to get him back into the Westworld thing so she can start pursuing her daughter and stuff. But Dolores is motivated to sort of get out and take over and fight back and take. I mean, her exact goal is not that clear, although she has spoken about.
Well, she says her goal is
things over
she wants to dominate this world.
Yeah.
That's Dolores' goal.
That's what
Maeve's goal is to get her daughter and get the heck out of there.
I know, but in what way why do they have to clash with each other is my point, / how could they work for each other? I feel like they'd be better as kindred spirits than as kindred enemies.
I feel as though something's going to happen where Maeve gets her daughter and makes a deal with the humans that she can leave the park and live a life or something to that extent, but she has to quell or squash the rebellion.
Right.
I think that might be where they're going. That's a very... It's not based on a lot, but is based on sort of the idea that these two forces of nature can't possibly have the same alignment because you need conflict. And if they were in alignment, then the pushback against humanity would be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
That
Wow.
from a sense of balance, they kind of have to conflict.
Yeah, I like that. I hear you. I think that what will happen is Maeve will get her daughter, but Dolores will do something, perhaps indirectly, but her efforts will lead to Maeve's daughter being under threat, and she won't be able to get her out of there. And then so in order to save her daughter, Maeve will create some sort of issue that Dolores has to then solve. So that's where the tension comes from.
Yeah.
Maternal instinct fight, as opposed to Maeve deciding.
Dolores is quickly descending into the villain realm right now for me.
Well, after this episode, for sure.
You mess with Teddy, you're a villain.
I don't know. I mean, so we know Teddy ends up in the water.
Right.
Now, does that happen because because he's just like one of those other hosts that ends up in the water, or does Dolores somehow go out of her way to make sure he ends up in the water?
We still are not privy to all the information that happens in that 2-week time span. We don't know what happens that way. We don't know what Bernard means when he says I killed them.
Yeah.
We're still in the dark about all that.
Yeah.
So we don't know yet, but we're going to find out in little bits and pieces as the season progresses.
Shogun samurai guys, are they going to be fighting cowboys? Or, I mean, like Wyatt and her gang? Or, the dudes with the masks? Or are they going to be fighting military? Because, I mean,
I would assume both.
Well, humans are good at killing humans. Military technology now in our world is extremely overwhelming, depending on who has it. I mean, I guess in almost any situation. But this is even farther away in time than we are right now, right? Mm-hmm. Or further or whatever. Yeah. And so these robot ladies with their armies to rescue, they have no idea what they're up against.
Oh yeah, you get a bunch of snipers at a distance. You have a charging army of Shogun. Yeah. Blow them to pieces.
You just need a drone up in the sky just dropping bombs.
Yeah, just some napalm.
Well, that's even... Yeah, but it might be about them protecting the IP, and so they have to come in with more surgical precision and stuff like that, too, so I get that part. No, I thought it was a good episode. I thought the whole duality, double... one of them even called him a doppelbot.
Yeah, do you think that the whole idea that you had from Season 1, that the flies landing on people, was what was basically transmitting the bad code, these violent delights have violent ends, and then she tells a story about flies transmitting the blue tongue?
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. The flies are confusing because they sort of have...
Flies are the only thing that are real in the park.
Yeah, but they're often they're on the bodies, and that's like how it works.
Yeah.
Right. But they've also shown them as smaller. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I think they've shown enough that you could make a case for either of those of those explanations. But yeah. So we'll see. Anything else you wanted to point out?
No, I'm pretty good. I'm gonna
get fun.
Hit the hay. I had fun. I liked this episode.
Ready to go sleep?
I'm gonna wake up in the morning and regret all the things that I've missed in this episode. But that's life.
People are gonna regret that you're not there to explain shit, because I'm sitting here going, oh, this one. Okay, there's a guy. There's some stuff. There's a lady. There's another dude. There's a tree. I'm horny. That's just me.
Yeah, I didn't get the impression that a lot happened in this episode. There's very important things. Absolutely happened. But in terms of the sequence of events, there wasn't a lot of different nuance to really talk about. There's meat on the bone, but not as much as the prior episode.
I kind of dumbly assumed that at the end of Season 1, when they showed the Shogun stuff, that the whole Season 2 would just move into the Shogun world, which is just me being stupid. At least finally we got to see a good bit of the Japanese society. I do want to look up and read a bit about the feudal Japan and stuff.
Yeah, me too. The Edo period, the Judge Edo period.
Judge Edo. There's so many epics in Chinese and Japanese, Korean, and I mean, of course, every other country pretty much, but these large societies that had developed these sophisticated cultures and stuff.
You have other countries that have thousands of years of history, and yet Americans have like a couple hundred years. We're like babies in terms of
500 on this land here, but the story goes back. Yes, though, but I agree
We're
with you.
relatively newcomers to history when
It's
it comes to
just
our country.
incredible.
Yeah.
So it's all good stuff. So all right, thank you guys. Thanks for watching. I hope this was entertaining and interesting. Yeah, that's all we got, James. So James is on Twitter at Video James Says P. I know people are tweeting at you. Just sign in.
I'm going to sign in. I will do it.
Guys, just send James some love on Twitter, and I think he'll learn that Twitter is a horrible cesspool just like the rest of us will, but he won't be able to stop using it. And that's all I want for him. Thanks. Do it right now.
Okay.
You get addicted to those notification pop-ups. That's it. No. But Patreon is available for anybody who's interested in that. You don't have to, but it's on Twitter, Facebook, and I'm gonna not animate. I'm so excited.
MySpace.
Not MySpace. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks a lot. Love you so much. See you in the comments. Bye, James.
Bye.